And what's up, everybody? Back with another Juices Loose podcast, up to number 164. We got the usual crew. We got some stuff to talk about, so let's just get in. And before we get into the main topics, I'm just gonna give a shout out to Clocked It. Robert and I, for the most part, Terrell got in towards the end. We played Splatoon on Friday night and used Hangouts for voice chat. Played Splatoon. Clocked It's in Wales in the UK, and literally not one bit of lag, no connection issues, nothing for over 2 straight hours. And I know like I should be used to it by now, but I'm still just impressed with technology when we can sit there, chat halfway across the world and be in the same game and have like it works so well. I know I've complained about sometimes with Japanese players there seems to be some lag, but it was like for anyone, if you read people saying, Switches Online's crap or this and that, anyone dissing the Switches Online or Nintendo's Online, obviously if you're talking features, yeah, but as far as like simple to join, I set it up earlier. I got in a match, all of a sudden Clocked It's in, Little Craze in, and then Robert jumped in a little bit after that, and it was just like it was just fun. We were bullshitting. It was one of those voice chats where started not paying attention to the game after a while and didn't even look at the score at the end. It was good to chat with somebody for the first time. So, and then it was just a great online experience. And I hadn't played Splatoon, since like I think it was all of us when Robert was telling us about that one thing he's chasing. That was literally the last time. That was, I don't know, what was that, a month and a half ago?
No, I think it's gotta be less.
A month?
It's gotta be.
It don't feel like it was that long.
So this session was like rankings be damned.
Huh?
This session was like rankings be damned. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, for once.
It was one of those like I bet you 5-6 matches went by where I didn't even pay attention to who won or what the scores were. Like we were just obviously obvious to everybody, but Clocked It is somebody I've been following, but we've never chatted, so we were kind of getting in a conversation because it was our first time kind of communicating back and forth other than just in comment sections. So it was a little different than just somebody you've been talking to for years type of thing. But it's also a little bit of the reason I've never been that huge into voice chat, even though it's cool and stuff. When I really do want to concentrate on a game, that's when voice chat to me has always been kind of gets in the way of the gaming experience. So for a game like Splatoon, like casual type of session, it was cool, but it was just, again, it's 2017. I shouldn't be shocked, but it's just nice to play and not have any real issues and just know that, it's free right now. If they continue with this, just the stability part of it, paying $20 a year, whatever, I'm cool with it. Because it's so far overall the Switches Online's been really good. So, but it was fun to play, and of course, take a month and a half off, a month off, come back. My first game, 11 kills, no deaths. Like that used to happen all the time with Call of Duty, and then after that, it's back to reality: 2 kills, 4 kills. It's just one of those weird things. I don't know if anybody else experiences this. When you take a long period of time off from a game, online game, and you come back and just first game back, just dominate, and then it's like back to reality after that. So anyway, shout out to Clocked It if you're listening. Hopefully we can do a little bit more or earlier for you, because he was up till 3-4 in the morning, I think, by the time we were done.
This little intro, it's awesome. It's simple, but it's just like it reminds me of something that I can't figure out yet. This little Clocked It thing will come up, and it has that little music that reminds me of something I can't place, but it's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, and he had a great review for SteamWorld Dig 2 that I even linked image and form towards it. Hopefully they check it out, because I thought it was a really well done review. Dude's got great content, and just it's just a shame that he doesn't have more subscribers. So I'm doing every week you're gonna hear about it, because I think he should have a lot more subs and get more views. So but anyway, let's get into the first thing. Was a little thing I noticed today, which I'd kind of forgotten about. We talked about a little bit off air. The Mummy demastered. WayForward, the creators of the Shantae series. Well, I don't know. Is WayForward just one studio like that makes all these games? Is it always the same people, or do they have like a separate team for like the Shantae team? That's one thing I don't know.
I don't think they have.
I don't believe so. No.
Yeah, I don't think they have a separate Shantae team. I think it's the whole team works on one game at a time. I think.
All right, Terrell, you're sounding like Max Headroom right now, the robot.
Max Headroom.
Why the fuck? I didn't do anything today.
But yeah, WayForward's making it. I guess it's kind of a tie-in with the Tom Cruise movie, but it's more of a. It's like a HD 8-bit looking art style Contra-ish kind of game, and it comes out on the 24th of this month. I had forgotten all about it. Didn't even know the Switch version was confirmed. I kind of figured it was, but I didn't know. I don't know how long it's been confirmed coming to the Switch, but that comes out.
They posted it on Twitter. I saw earlier.
Yeah, they posted on Twitter, and I thought it was a PS4, Xbox One, PC game, but again, I wasn't really following it that close. But yeah, it comes out on the 24th. Their track record's pretty strong. I've liked all the games I've bought from them, so it looks like a pretty cool game. Let's see if it can be a good licensed video game. We haven't had a good licensed game in a long time, so. I'm confident this won't be good, but what do you guys think? Have you checked out any of the gameplay? Is this something you're interested in? T, I know you're a big Contra guy like I was back in the day, so have you seen anything about this game?
I saw the trailer. It seems cool. I mean, I guess I didn't pay that much attention to it because it had the mummy in front of the title.
Yeah.
And so I would look at it again.
Yeah, I just watched the trailer and I was actually came away more impressed than I remember the first time I seen it. So yeah. I don't know if it's come along, if anything's changed. Like I said, I don't remember it being like a Contra type shooter. So that was kind of, and I don't know if it has any co-op or anything. I guess I should have looked up a little bit more, but it was just interesting. Another, Switch game. It's an indie game, but there's going to be a point where you're just going to have to not buy a good game, or at least I'm going to have to like pass on a good game or a couple good games just because there's just a lot coming out and it's so different from the Wii U generation. Yeah. Like it feels weird to think about having to decide, man, am I going to pass on that? Which one am I going to get? Am I Fire Emblem Warriors back on the lineup, or a couple indie games? Like it's, we don't even know the release dates for Doom and, what other one's got a mid Rocket League? There's another game they're saying mid-December, another indie game that's like looked pretty cool. I forget which one that one was, but
I'm looking at my list and I'm like,
there's a lot of games.
I'm gonna have 20 physical games for Switch.
I pre-ordered Axiom Verge's Collector's Edition. I mean, I didn't want to. It's weird. Here's the thing.
It makes it sound like he's getting strong-armed into it. I didn't even want to do it.
I know I'm in the minority. I would rather have indie games digital, but I also want to support the guy who made this game because I think it is the best indie game and one of the, if not the best Metroid-style game I've ever played outside of Metroid. I want to support it, and I like that there's like this art book, and then there's a documentary on the creation of the game, which hopefully it's a decent documentary because I'm really intrigued at how this guy made this game over the last 10 years or whatever it took him by himself, did all the music and everything. But I would have liked it even more if it was all that stuff and then a digital download code. For whatever reason, I just feel weird about indie games being on a physical. Like and it's also coming out a little bit like a week and a half before Mario, so I'm just like, I know if it was digital, my chances of playing it more were increased. If it's always there, if I got to switch out cards between Mario and I'm not going to play it. Probably not even going to play it all the way through again. And it's like, so I'm torn. I want to support it, but I also would rather have the digital. But there's some pretty cool stuff in that code.
I got a digital on Wii U.
I made a post on Twitter about this a couple of days ago that I'm actually so happy that so many of those small people, those little indie guys who make such passionate games. There's more passion in some of these indie games and some AAA games, and they turn out so good. So I'm actually so happy that so many get the chance to release their games physical. So as a collector, that's really exciting to me.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it. I'm just saying for me, I don't know why. Like I said, I just think indie game. I think digital, and it's
well. Somebody in the chat brought this up. I'm looking forward to Cinemora, and I totally want that game, but I can't pay $30 for a digital only game. Like I need a physical copy.
It's what that's not coming physical for you?
I think it is.
I was gonna say because it's already in my stores physical, that one.
Okay, I'm sure it is, but I'm saying, but it's a digital game. It started off as that anyway, and they want $30 for it. It's
yeah,
like,
if the price
is $30, I need a physical copy at that point.
Definitely.
Sure.
I would say if the prices are the same for physical and digital, then yeah, it's a no-brainer. But Axiom's only 20 digital, 30 physical, and 40.
Well, yeah. I mean, but the base price for Cinemora physical is $30, or digital is $30.
No, it's $30 physical.
It's both, but I'm saying you want $30 digitally. I need some physical copies.
Well, damn, it's out of stock. What the fuck? Sorry, I'm
And
looking
then
it up on Amazon.
you got the whole 20% discount with Amazon and Best Buy for the physical. So it's like, it's just one of those things where it's a better deal to buy the physical. But like, you haven't already played Axiom, I'm a little concerned that having to compete with Mario, having an actual cartridge taken and out might affect me playing it fully the second time. But it's not a big deal, and I'm glad that the game's coming to the Switch. If anybody hasn't played it, likes Metroid games, I mean it's a no-brainer for $20. Like after I played that, I was surprised by it. I wasn't really anticipating it being as good as it was on the Wii U like a year ago or so, whenever that was. And I can tell you right now, if you like Samus Returns, Super Metroid, Metroid Fusion, to me it's right there with like Super Metroid. It's just that good of a game. So definitely go out, support it. Apparently it's selling pretty well, or the guy's really happy with the Switch sales of it so far. So that's good to hear. That these games are doing well. I'm sure Switch version's going to outsell all other versions combined, type of thing. Because it's that Metroid. It's more of a Metroid clone than just like it's very inspired by, to the point of it could pass as a Metroid game. If you change the character. So it's one of those things. Is it plagiarism or is it inspiration? It's a fine line that is treading, but I think it's on the it's not just a blatant rip off. It has new ideas and stuff. So definitely check out that game. Anybody that's a Metroid fan. And if you noticed, I don't say the Vania part because I don't think the Vania part even belongs in when you talk about games of that style. It's Metroid style. The Vania was just a copy of Metroid. So
I'm gonna get to a video at some point.
I think you're the one that kind of got me on this.
Yeah.
I don't like saying the Metroidvania because what Metroid or Castlevania basically copied a lot of what Metroid already did. So
right. I'm gonna ask people what is the Vania, Metroidvania.
What Castlevania really was the most? Because I don't think the first two were as much like Metroid as.
No. When they say Metroidvania, they're usually referring to Symphony of the Night.
They're referring to Symphony of the Night, right? Which is 10 years after Metroid.
Which I think,
which already did all that stuff.
Which honestly, I think the only reason why they call it that is because it's Metroid done Castlevania style.
I think they call it that because they didn't want to give full respect to who it belongs to.
And Symphony of the Night was a PlayStation 1 game, so Super Metroid had been out for.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah,
10 years.
Crazy. Well, let's just stay on this. All these games coming to Switch thing, because I'm not shitting you. I still see people saying the Switch doesn't have enough games yet. Like somebody was saying in the comment section of, I don't know if it was the last podcast or Juice Opinions. I'm just waiting. The Switch doesn't have enough first-party games yet. I'm waiting, and it's like, because he's like, I have a Wii U, and it's a lot of Wii U games. Well, yeah, Zelda, you could play on the Wii U, Mario Kart, and Pokken. and then some indie games like Fast and Shovel Knight and all those. But you're telling me there isn't enough new first-party games on the Switch this year to have one?
I'm just saying, to be fair, it's only what, because he's already played Zelda, so it would only be ARMS, Splatoon 2, and Mario Odyssey.
And what is this?
That's kind of big, though. What?
No. I'm not saying it's not big. I'm just saying, in terms of quantity, it's not like a lot, but it's a lot for like a first year.
It's a lot for the first, for buying a system.
I say it's a lot if you already bought a Wii U.
Year, yeah.
Well, if you didn't own a Wii U, it's really a lot. But if you owned a Wii U, I could kind of understand you waiting a little bit.
I don't think so.
I've heard people say they were going to wait until Odyssey dropped purely because of everything else feeling more like a Wii U extension instead of a.
Well, why wait? If you're going to buy the system anyway, they're in stock.
Well just get it.
You're just making excuses at that point.
People just don't. People have.
It ain't gonna be. Then Mario's gonna come out. Well, I'm gonna wait till Xenoblade. Then I'm gonna wait till Smash comes out or the next official Mario, like Mario Kart 9. Like that's the game people play. Like if
pretty much what happened with the Wii U.
If you're saying there's not enough games right now, you're just basically just hating and just making an excuse or being a troll. I don't know.
Especially now, it's really stupid. If you want one from Mario and you're waiting till Mario comes out, now they're in stock. When Mario comes out, you're not going to find them.
They're not going to be in stock. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like somebody just posted like they had 10, 15 or something Switches in a bigger city at like Target or something.
Yeah, they got like a random restock when I went in there last week.
Those 4 that I showed you were still there. The Splatoon bundle ones.
It's like
that's the first time I've ever seen those in live-ish.
I haven't been to Walmart. I don't think I've been to Walmart since the Switch came out.
So. I don't think I've been to Walmart in years because fuck Walmart.
True
that. He knows.
And Clocked It made a great video. I got to give him another shout out where
just get off the man. Hey, chill out.
He was saying,
trying to get a man some shine. He deserves some shine.
He was saying we almost need a software drought like with the Switch. We almost need one because there's so many games coming out. Like Fire Emblem Warrior comes out a week before Mario Odyssey. Like that's crazy. That never happened on the Wii U.
See, I was thinking about like I want to buy. Like, I'm going to play these games. I'm not just going to buy them for support, but I want to buy them at the full price to support. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to be, the money isn't the problem. It's the time. It's like, why am I'm going to buy these games and then they're going to sit? A few of them are just going to sit. It's just like, I don't really.
And if it's a third-party game, by the time you're playing it, it's going to be dropped in price. And it's like, man, I hate to be one of those that wait, like, but I tell you right now, Doom drops 40 or below early next year. I'm probably going to buy it. I mean, even as much as I've talked about not buying it, like for 60, definitely. But once it starts to get down in price, then it's like,
is it 60?
Yeah.
It's confirmed to be 60.
Which there's a whole debate could happen. Could be a whole separate podcast about a game getting ported to a new system being full price when it's. We talked about it a little bit last week. You know, they got their sales out of the other system, so the price comes down. They want to get as much as they can on the new system. But there is a point where I think, depending on how much work they do to a game to improve it or make it, specific features.
Yeah, I think there's a difference. There's a difference when you're talking about, like, say it came out on Xbox and then they ported it to PS4. Like, there's not a lot of work going on there. Right, but when you do it to the Switch, they did some serious optimization to get this thing.
And LA Noire did more than that. Sounds like they're doing more than that. So, and that's only 50, and it would be 40 if it wasn't for the bigger cartridge. We're assuming is the reason for the $10 difference. Hopefully that whole game's on like a 32 gig or something. But
that'd be,
damn it, what was the other game I was?
Well, think about it. That and Skyrim are coming out in the same week.
Yeah,
which is insane.
That's exactly crazy. That's kind of the point I was trying to allude to with all these games coming out.
It was only it was a 2-disc game of 360, so it couldn't be more than 16 gigs. That's the max.
We'll see.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then we know, the difference as far as the size on a Nintendo console as to the other console. So it should be, it might even fit on a 16.
Is that maybe because of the touchscreen support and whatnot?
What's that?
Is it possibly due to maybe the touchscreen support they're adding in the game and all?
I was gonna say that, but then you got to look at like the extra stuff they're adding. I don't know where it's gonna sit at that point. So
that's a maybe situation right now.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued, but like I said, when it first was announced, like this year's too full. Like we haven't. I mean, honestly, when's the last time we had this problem on a Nintendo system? Where it's just too many games to choose from.
Maybe the Wii.
The Wii, probably the Wii.
Yeah, the Wii would be the last one.
Yeah, between like Virtual Console and WiiWare, and then like retail games, like it was just.
Yeah, because think about it. Like next Friday, Fire Emblem's out, and then the Friday after that, Mario Odyssey's out. That's insane.
Isn't this week NBA, right?
No, it's next week.
15th.
It's next Tuesday.
Oh, next Tuesday. Okay,
or 7th. What is next Tuesday? The
17th.
17th.
Yeah, 17th.
That's when the Axiom Verge physical version comes out. And then what else is there? Fire Emblem, Mario. Seems like there's.
I made a list.
There's a Japanese. There is a Japanese game I'm interested in that comes out in between Odyssey and Fire Emblem, but that's probably gonna get skipped for obvious reasons.
Yeah, and you're getting some third-party games coming out on Tuesday, and then others on Friday. So you could have a game come out on Tuesday, and then the 4 days later you get like something like Mario Odyssey, and it's amazing. And also it's good and bad. Like it's good that there's choice, but it's also bad where you're going to either miss out on a game or you're going to feel. I mean, it's up to the player. You don't have to rush through a game just because there's another game coming out. But with the Wii U, you could just really take your time, and especially if it's a good game, and just kind of absorb the whole game and not have to really worry. You had a couple months, you didn't have to really worry about. I need to finish this, because the next game comes out next week. Xenoblade comes out in 3 weeks. I got to finish Mario or something like that. We didn't really have that.
And it looks like there could be a little bit of a gap, hopefully, for January. There might be.
Yeah,
maybe.
Maybe we don't know.
You can get the game later, but if it's a game you would really want to play, then, I mean, you're losing out yourself. Like, or you could try to toggle 2 big games at the same time. And then I always feel that kind of lessens the experience.
The impact.
So it's just,
dude, there's like 5. I'm looking at 5 games in November that I want for Switch. Like, this is nonsense. Man.
Oh yeah, because didn't Resident Evil come out?
Resident Evil, Sonic Forces, Skyrim,
LA Noire.
LA Noire.
Aren't we missing one?
And we don't even know about Breath of the Wild DLC.
Breath of the Wild DLC. I'm getting Axiom Verge physical. So Axiom Verge on the 21st. Skyrim on the 17th.
Axiom Verge comes out next Tuesday. Oh, wait.
No, it doesn't.
The standard comes out in November. The special edition comes out next Tuesday.
According
to Best Buy. That's what
I don't know about. Well, this is Amazon. Amazon.
Best Buy has the collector's edition coming out next Tuesday, and then the regular version coming out in November. So if that's wrong, then I'm probably going to cancel my pre-order and just download that.
We don't really know for some of these smaller games.
It's all a fucking mystery.
Farming Simulator, people.
I mean,
it's
11/7.
Jesus Christ!
I know a guy at work. That's one of his top games.
Sick of this shit, yo.
Rhyme. So
oh, yeah, Rhyme's another
movie.
Oh,
right. I forgot about Rhyme.
See?
Eventually.
Azure Striker Gunvolt is basically November's 10/31 for the physical. So I still want to get that.
Well, technically, you can count Xenoblade is November considering it's the first
seriously,
day.
Stop. I can't take it.
Because Doom probably be December.
Yeah that's the only month it can be.
Rocket League could potentially be late November.
Oh, that would
December.
suck, yo!
Rocket League.
God damn it.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Best Buy.
And they were doing demos of that this weekend.
Yeah, so I mean, it's coming real close, probably.
Yeah, they were doing demos at the Nintendo New York store.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably means it's coming
Oh
out
man,
pretty soon.
Laker Link just Payday 2. Forgot about that.
Oh fuck me.
Yeah,
Well,
but that doesn't come out though soon, right?
no, to be
Monopoly.
fair, we don't know anything about that
All
one
right,
yet.
enough Laker Link, enough. Monopoly as well.
Monopoly. I'm good. I don't
Okay,
think Monopoly.
okay. We're all gonna play Monopoly together.
That's the
And that's
family
not
game
counting
right
the digital only games.
there. Sonic Feces.
Y'all, hey, look, y'all need to chill out.
Yo, that's
Tony,
Tony.
chill out. Tony, chill out. Listen.
Yeah, this, according to Best Buy,
That's
this
funny.
Axiom Verge is available Tuesday, October 17th. So
WWE 2K. Oh god damn, I forgot about that. This is too much. I can't do it. I
Which is
can't.
stupid because the only two games I got pre-ordered is Fire Emblem and Mario, and I'm like, fuck. I still
Retro
gotta
City
pre-order
gonna have to
Sonic.
wait, man. I can't. You guys are killing me in the chat with all these.
Oh
game
yeah, because
reviews.
like a lot of the smaller titles have been getting physical releases, and then apparently Bomberman's update comes out in November, what they were talking about in TGS, and then
well,
we got
don't forget,
another-
we just got a. Then we just get another leg. We got Lego Worlds, and then also the
I'm so tired of that shit.
Ninjago. That
Oh,
game
the
just
Lego
came out.
Ninjago.
I seen that store. I didn't even know that game was ever in
Some
existence.
of these games only gonna sell 10 copies, man.
Every Lego thing has some type of representation in a game form.
So I'm scrolling Best Buys here just to see what.
I don't want to see any more shit.
Yeah,
Yo.
they're if Axiom Version don't come out on Tuesday, then that's false advertising. So I'm gonna be.
That
was gonna be my game to get me to Mario, but
No,
Zelda
see,
Champions. Zelda Champions. Don't forget
Well,
about
yeah,
them.
oh, don't forget about
we still don't know about the
RBI
DLC for that
Baseball.
RBI Baseball 2017.
That
I
game-
still
Oh,
wanna
what
get
about that game? Looks pretty good. Unboxes Adventure or
that.
whatever.
Unbox? Yes.
That comes out next month. That's in on the 21st. Apparently.
No, I put up a thing for that like what, a month after the Switch came out. They put out a little like it was
Yeah.
it was one of those games that would look like it was gonna come soon and
There
got
it
pushed for whatever reason.
And then the Tiny Barbarian, that's getting a physical
Yeah.
release. I don't know.
Yeah.
Damn, Tiny Barbarians.
That comes out what tomorrow?
I can't take it. It's too much. I can't take it.
Yeah, it's a good
It's a lot.
problem, but it's also I think it's gonna hurt game
It's gonna hurt
sales.
some of the games, yeah.
And then it's gonna be like, oh, our game don't sell. It's like, it's just.
I don't know, man. I think because of the nature of the Switch, a lot of these games that probably wouldn't sell as much probably will because a lot of people are buying them, digitally. They're just gonna go in the shop anyway.
Mhm.
Buy
Yeah, the
them,
guy I
download
work
them.
with, he doesn't even look like I think he got a podcast. I don't think it's a gaming podcast, but he's a PC guy, and he just looks on the eShop. And if there's
Mhm.
something interesting, he buys it. He doesn't look to see what's coming out physically.
Right.
He doesn't even care about going out and buying.
I would bet most people do that. Only us hardcore, like we are following this stuff way ahead of time. Most people are
And if
just like,
that'll-
what they got on the let me go buy it.
If Battle Chasers didn't get delayed, then that would have probably been coming out soon, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think
That
so.
was out in November. So yeah, there's just so many games, and it's like yeah, you can just say we'll play some later, but then again, it's like I've been waiting to play this game. Any other scenario, I'd definitely be playing Fire Emblem Warriors right now if Nintendo would have released
Yeah.
the release date worldwide the same day.
Yeah, they should have did that.
I don't know what they were thinking, but so
I'm still
Okay,
getting it.
let's
I
just-
don't give a damn, man.
let's talk about it because I was, I don't know if it was the Japanese version or not, where there's some comparisons between the performance and whatever the 30 frames per second mode and the 60 frames per second mode.
Seems like the American version previews went up today. I saw.
So I don't know about you guys. I posted in the chat for the last 2 days. I mean, on my computer, on my phone, on my iPad or iPod, at different work, at home, Wi-Fi or wireless. Like every video I've watched of anything fast moving looks super compressed artifacts. Like I cannot even tell the difference between the Fire Emblem footage. And it doesn't matter which video, if it's Game Explains or somebody else had one. Then I was watching FIFA and NBA videos, and every one of them looks bad. So I'm just like, I can't judge the Fire Emblem difference. I could see the 60 frames per second difference. The game obviously looks faster. Did you guys have you been experiencing this? Have you seen the difference?
I can barely tell the difference between in terms of the drop in resolution, because it's only dropping from 1080 to 720, and it's so minuscule to the point where I'm almost like, well, fuck it, I'll just play the 720 60 frames just because of how minuscule the difference seems to be.
Yeah, it does. I mean, you can tell like everything appears to be happening quicker, except when the character's running, I don't notice a difference. But when the combat's happening and all that stuff, like it just looks like it's moving faster. Like not just the frame rate, but actually the characters and the sword swinging is happening. It looks like the 30 frames per second is almost like a slow motion version, you know. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects actual combos and pressing buttons, you know, if it affects the actual input. But again, I really probably have to wait till I get the game myself to really tell the difference, because YouTube's just looking shitty right now. Even
like a real compressed.
Yeah, it's like even like a good look, like what was it? I was watching like Justice League trailer and stuff. Everything just looks compressed and like bad. So I don't know if that's just YouTube thing or my area, but my internet's been fine. I downloaded the Battlefront 2 beta and pretty quick, 22 gigs took.
No, I'm looking at it now and it looks very, very compressed. So
yeah, so
not just that.
Could be YouTube switch something up. So we can't. It's hard to say. Anybody else watch that comparison?
What they switched up is the fact that they have this whole new censorship type of deal they got going, just so they can sell more YouTube Red subscriptions.
Yeah, that pops up constantly now too. Like,
bullshit.
Try for free. No thanks.
Yeah,
man,
3 months free. Apparently now they got it. That's a lot.
Because apparently sponsors don't like you cursing in your video.
Apparently sponsors don't like
it's okay for YouTube either. Red. They let you know it's okay on YouTube Red. Here's your revenue for YouTube Red. It's like, you fuckers. Sorry.
Yeah. But again, I think it's cool that Fire Emblem gives that option, and I could potentially open up the door for other games to do it. So, you know, I'm almost thinking about getting the game now again, because I was going to get NBA, and then if Axiom Verge, the physical don't come out till late November, I might just get the digital now. And then, so Fire Emblem Warriors is back on the maybe list for me, and not because of the 60 and 30 frames thing. I'm seeing more of the game, and you know, I'm feeling the urge to play it. So there was a review which I think Terrell liked, and I watched. A guy was going pretty in depth with all that was a great review. I didn't actually.
I love that review, man.
And he was pretty impressed with a lot of the depth of the new mechanics and stuff. So,
and they fixed some of the stupid shit that the Hyrule Warriors kind of suffered from, like the fact that you could switch in between characters in the middle of a battle. I fucking love that shit.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about
Go ahead.
I don't know. The environments all seem kind of samey though. There's not a lot of variety going on so far. What I've seen in the background stuff. So that's the only big concern I have right now.
Somebody wants to know Retro Death is dead.
Oh, I see what they did there.
Hey, you love Warriors games, man. What's your thoughts?
Well, because I didn't watch any of that's why I didn't say anything. I didn't watch any of the footage yet that you said, the comparisons, because the only one I saw up was Game Explain, and I don't watch their trash anymore, so...
Yeah, and they don't have the best capture.
I do agree what you said, though, by the level design, because when you play Zelda, you're like in the volcanoes, Hyrule Warriors, and you're like, and you're walking on the fields, and all of a sudden you go into the water in a temple and shit. And every time I see Fire Emblem, it's just like the battlefield thingy. It looks really empty. But for me, it's also back on the radar just because the last couple of characters that have been revealed have been from other games, fucking Fates and Awakening. So it's back on my radar again, too.
You still might be a little bit mad because of how I think Lyn and Celica you don't get until you don't get in the story mode. You actually have to play the I forget what Hyrule Warriors 8-bit
the adventure mode.
Yeah, pretty much Fire Emblem's variation of that is how you get the extra characters. So I mean, it's not like you're gonna be primarily playing with like Awakening and Fates characters and a little bit of Shadow Dragon in the story for the most part. So, but I still think the game looks good, and if they do what they did with Hyrule Warriors, which is have free DLC on top of like paid DLC, I'll be fine.
Yeah, but Hyrule Warriors kind of had that too, where some characters were just so fucking overkill hard to unlock or took a really long time. So I'm kind of used to that with the Warrior games. I don't mind that too much. As long as they're in the game, I'm already happy.
Oh, okay. So at least you get to see.
This took me a while to figure out, so I have to say this now. I've been trying to figure out for months who Retro Death reminds me of, like the way he talks and stuff. And I finally figured this out. I'm gonna make you a meme now. Sorry, man.
On the click.
I got to do it. It clicked with me today. For millennials, you might not know who I'm talking about, but Balki Bartakamus from Perfect Strangers. That's who you sound like to me.
That is not good.
I love that episode. They went.
I love that show. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
like quick comparison.
So, yeah, millennials, you got to look that up on.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Supposed to be from. I don't remember what.
I think it's from some made-up country.
Yeah, it was a made-up country.
Yeah, that's right.
Some Middle European kind of shit like Russia.
Yeah.
So Terrell, what do you think of?
Of course,
the
not. Don't be
costumes
ridiculous.
We've seen so far. What do you think of the Fire Emblem Warriors costumes? Because I remember you were saying, well, Koei Tecmo's making this, so I expect, this to be, a little more curvaceous on the women than normal. But from what I'm seeing, they're mostly. What's your take on the outfit choices we've seen so far? Not to.
Well, I actually think the outfit choices. The outfit choice is actually cool because it's a cool callback to the games they come from. For example, I found that you can actually change the outfits looking at some of the footage from the Japanese version, and some of their other outfits are like what they would look like if you promote their classes. Like if you were to level up like a normal sword user into like a lord, that character actually has an outfit that makes them look like the lord with an extra sword, with the sword changing and everything. As far as the girls are concerned, though, they tried to be, I guess, fair about it. So it has its jiggle physics, and certain characters have gotten a bust size increase if you know them from their original games. But like, it's for the most part they tried to stay at least respectful because Fire Emblem, the Fire Emblem fandom right now is going through a little internal war because people don't like the newer generation fans because it's all about that waifu bullshit, and old school Fire Emblem fans ain't about that waifu bullshit. I think there's place in my heart for both. That's also because I'm a weak bastard, so I can't say anything. But I like the character designs, and I like the fact that there's a lot of callbacks. Even the soundtrack is a lot of remixes of Fire Emblem music, dude. Like, I think it does a good job paying homage to Fire Emblem, and that's why I appreciate it. So
I think I'm disappointed by Tiki's default outfit when they revealed her. Like,
I thought you were disappointed by which version of Tiki they used. They used the young version instead of the old
I really like the
one from Awakening.
Heroes. No, the Heroes Tiki outfit, and I don't know if that was just for that game.
Wait a minute, which? Oh wait. I'm trying to remember. Is it it's not the swimsuit one, is it?
No.
Okay, I was making sure. I don't know what you're talking about.
I hated though that when they revealed Anna, because she's one of my favorites, kinda, and I fucking hated it that they made her an archer instead of giving her an axe. There's almost no axe characters. Giving her another bow, that makes people extremely similar. I don't like that.
You realize, but there's only 3 bow characters in the game.
But that's all you see in the fucking trailers, I just mean, like, if you do that, like, for example, they could have used what was her name, like Titania, what's her name? The chick with the giant lance, for example.
Oh, Minerva?
Have like lance characters and axe characters. For now, it seems like there's sword users and like
magic
archers and a couple of magic characters. I feel like it's not just the roster that I feel they're limiting. It's like the variety of characters. I think they're sticking so close to the roster, the triple weapon thing, that I feel like they're not taking any real chance. I mean, come on. Like, Hyrule Warriors had fucking Dingle in it. They could try a little bit more, I feel.
I can slightly disagree with it, especially with the Archer comment, because it's like I said, I think right now there's only 3 playable Archers and a 4th one that may or may not become playable later. And then, like, if anything, we have an overabundance of sword users, if nothing else. Although I do agree that fucking Axe users are kind of slightly misrepresented too, because right now we only have Camilla, Lissa, and Frederick, I think. So we're still the balance isn't as great. But I'm
I'm sorry, there's a delay. Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. But yeah, I'm hoping. I understand your point though. There isn't enough variety, and especially because when I've heard about there's certain characters cloning movesets. I'm hoping some of the patches from this point forward kind of help improve that. So, but yeah.
So, final answer: costumes, good or bad?
Oh yeah, no, the costumes are fine, dude. I didn't have any real problem. I mean, at this point, everyone's just hoping for swimsuits.
Was it what you expected?
They're gonna come.
More swimsuit edition.
Wait, say what, Juice?
Was the default costumes what you expected when we first found out this game was being made? Like, because I remember I'm pretty sure you were the one that said, you know, Koei Tecmo plus waifus or Fire Emblem, you know, is going to be a good thing. But I'm seeing mostly like overly clothed women for, you know, the fan service not being there, and I was surprised.
I will say I'm slightly surprised, but I'm also happy because I feel like you could always add in like what is it, the Lucina's Bride outfit you can get if you pre-order the DLC. I think the fan service shit will be in the DLC, which to be fair is probably where it needs to be. I think the fact that they are re-emulating their original outfits from their games is better than going with the fucking bikini shit. Because hey, look, I don't mind the bikini shit, but I know people do, and this game already had enough back and forth with it, enough with its character roster. It didn't really need to burn anybody else on fucking outfits.
I think the way they're doing it anyway, like the way you see Nintendo handling the shit like they did with Fatal Frame, whatever, with Fatal Frame and all that kind of shit. I think, because I was expecting them to do some microtransaction shit like Dead or Alive and have like 100,000 bikini outfits per character. I think they don't want that. You might get a couple, maybe 2 or 3, but I think they're purposely trying to not do that and minimize it. Even for the DLC, I think they're going to try to avoid that as much as possible.
All right. Yeah, and I've been watching some gameplay this whole time. There's some parts where I'm like, yeah, it looks pretty cool, and then others like that just looks like I said, boring backgrounds, nothing interesting happening, and I guess it's more about the layer of strategy that this version's added and the weapon triangle stuff and sending your troops to locations than trying to like wow with you know, like this one castle setting looks really good, and then there's another area that just looks bland. So, like I said, I'm torn, and who knows? Maybe that day on the 20th, maybe I'll just decide to get it. We'll see. But all right, let's move to another. Yeah, what was I gonna? I had one other game I want to talk about, of course, and I fucking forgot. I should have wrote it down.
Grandpa Juice,
Grandpa Juice strikes again.
Back in my day.
Oh, Sonic Forces.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Didn't they talk about?
Yeah, 720p 30.
It's 720 and 30.
No, it's 720p 30 docked and undocked. However, they said the controls.
It's 60 frames per second controls.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I think they're implying that the input still interacts at a 60 frame per second, but what you're seeing on screen is 30 frames.
I don't.
The interesting
so that just
thing,
shows you how much more inept they are at making the game.
So that tells me that the portables maybe target 720 and it's gonna always be below, or that they developed it for portable and they really didn't put. There's absolutely no reason docked and handheld should have the exact same resolution and performance. Like there's.
Well, I think. Because they posted the interview with everything in it. And I think one of the things that kind of hurt them is apparently they started the Switch version like later than the. Yep. Yeah, I think honestly it's more of a time constraint.
They had to rush it, and that's why
they said, well, we can put the game out later,
right,
or we can just lock it to 720 30 frames, and I think that's what they decided to go.
Which
with.
means we better get a damn patch.
Yeah, can you just patch it
like Nintendo would have like. Part of the development tools you'd think would be a minimum bump you can do once it's docked. Like it just seems like it's getting a higher clock speed. It seems like there wouldn't be a whole lot more to do other than you can raise the resolution or
No, it's because they have it's their engine. You know, it's their proprietary engine. That's
because they were saying stuff like how the Switch version's development was going along slower. So like I think around E3 they only had like a level done for the Switch.
Really?
If this was Unreal Engine 4, you probably had no problem with it being 60.
Yeah, but it's their custom engine.
It's their custom engine, right?
Yeah, I mean we're seeing NBA 2K, which I still have.
Well, they started a lot early. I'm guessing Nintendo.
I have a feeling NBA for sure. I think is going to get a bump one way or somehow, either to 900p well docked or maybe I don't want to kind of laugh at some people, but maybe a frame rate bump, one docked or something down the road.
Got a patch recently.
Yeah, they fixed some glitches, but to me it's feeling like obviously Nintendo knows the hardware the best, and Mario Odyssey was 720p at E3, and now it's 900p, and according to Digital Foundry, like it's not what do they call it, adaptive resolution. It's 900p 60 locked. And at E3 it was only 720p. So there's definitely room for games to do more. And Sonic Forces, to me, out of all the multiplats, looks the closest, I think, to the other versions as far as just like everything that's going on the screen.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just going to be the case. It's going to have to be lower res and frame rate for that to happen. But I also feel like this game should get bumped up to some either higher.
I wish they would say that. I wish they would. I mean, I think
it's just more. I think it's more of a time constraint. And it's just kind of like it's the nature of the fact that they started that version later and it was on a new console versus the Xbox One and PS4 that have been out for what, 3-4 years.
Stopped working on the Xbox One entirely and took that team.
Seriously,
and put them on the
they're not going to do that.
That version is going to sell easily the least.
The Switch version is I'm gonna guess at least
Switch
10
version
times.
will probably do better than the PS4 version as far as sales go.
I think that one all depends on the fan base.
Just look at the Sonic Mania trailer views. I haven't looked at Sonic Forces, but when Nintendo posted on their channel, it's like millions, 100,000, then it's up over the million views. And the PS4 one, which was out forever, was like, I forget, it was really low in the 100,000 to 200,000 range or something.
Well, that's also because Nintendo and Sonic has been highly associated with Nintendo ever since they kind of went out of the console business, ever since like the fucking GameCube.
Sonic
so it's like,
probably.
Yeah, so it's like, how are you not gonna get the game on a Nintendo platform?
Yeah, I mean, they like you said, they just wanted to make sure it was out day and date with everybody else, which is a noble thing, because a lot of these companies aren't doing that, and the sacrifice is that it's not optimized, basically.
Yeah.
If it's locked 30, it won't be as bad though.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it's locked 30. Sorry.
Okay, that'll be the next question. But first, Sonic Forces on Nintendo trailer from E3 on Nintendo's website, 2.2 million views 3 months ago. Sonic Forces PS4 trailer from 4 months ago, 12,000 views.
I'm actually surprised on that. I thought it'd at least be.
I thought it'd be at least over 100,000.
IGN's gameplay reveal trailer, 800,000 views 6 months ago. Like, and that's non-Switch. So Nintendo puts on their channel 2.2 million views, and Nintendo channel I think only has 1 million subscribers.
It's no surprise that
most Sonic tends to do better on Nintendo platforms.
All right, so would you rather have them? And they didn't say this, but there's room for them to improve the docked version. What would you rather have them try to do a 720p 60 or a 1080p, get up to 1080p at 30? Terrell, I mean
720 60. It's not even a question.
Yeah, obviously since it's already 720, and
well, that and Sonic is like Mario in terms of its art style. So I mean, 1080 doesn't mean a lot for a game like Sonic, right? Like,
yeah,
I care more about the fast gameplay running at 60 frames.
That's what I was gonna say, because Sonic goes so stupid. Sonic goes so fast. The gameplay, you're not gonna notice that pixel difference. You're gonna notice the frame difference.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What are the Xbox numbers?
They don't Xbox don't put it on their channel.
Actually, you know, I'm going back right now and comparing like the sales of Generations, just to see if Generations sold more on the PS3 or the 360. On the PS3,
I bought it on the 360.
What's wrong with you, sir?
Because I didn't have.
Well, the 360 was
So
the
did
main
I.
console back then. That was the primary multi-plat.
Which is funny because it's still outsold. The PS3 outsold it by like 20,000.
Wow.
It's not much.
What about the Wii version?
There wasn't a Wii version of Generations.
That's fucked up.
We got colors, which sold more. Which sold more. Sold 100. Almost 200,000.
Well, I thought a Nintendo. I thought the 3DS or something got.
Not Generations game on the 3DS. Yeah, you're right.
3DS, yeah.
But it didn't come on the Wii.
Okay.
Or the Wii U.
Nope.
I didn't buy it. Did you buy that, Terrell?
You got like what? Black Knight.
What, Generations?
Yeah, on 3DS.
Well, hell no. No, I bought that
Oh,
on
you did?
PS3. I bought it on PS3 and played the shit out of it. I
didn't buy
it. And
it
I
on
bought it
3DS
again
either.
on Steam because I'm stupid.
And there really not been any Sonic Forces Switch footage since that level they showed at E3.
Yeah, I think that might have been the
They
only
busy,
level.
man. They ain't got time to make no damn videos.
Yeah.
They've been crunching trying to
They
finish
haven't
the
been
game.
showing
on
much.
time.
To be fair, they haven't been showing much of Sonic Forces. Period.
Yeah, they know what's up.
They've only shown like maybe 2 or 3 stages. That's
And we
about it.
talked about this before, where like I'm more excited about the 2D levels in that game, and I guess I'm in the minority for.
Yeah, most people are excited about the 3D stages.
I'm more excited about 3 stages for this game, particularly, because that's what this game should be about.
Hopefully,
Did you guys, any of you watch that? Was it Digital? Who did the kind of the breakdown of 3D Sonics and stuff? And then they showed the fan project. They had the HD Sonic 2, and then they also were going to remake Sonic 2006.
Oh my
But-
god!
Oh yeah, the fans are crazy. They will go. They've gone back and
There was a video,
remodeled
like-
levels.
This weekend that showcased that, but then at the end they showed that kind of the open world, not open world, but it's a 3D Sonic game where the levels are just super wide, so you can still move fast and have branching paths, and it works very similar to the 2D games, but in a 3D environment. It's not just you're moving forward and you have 3 lanes to be in. Like, it looks like a really cool idea, and it's the same place that what I forget what it's called. It's an event where like fans get together to showcase, their projects based on Sonic type stuff. That's where
Oh, it's not the Hackapalooza, is it? The fan hack.
could be. That's where Freedom Planet got its.
That sounds. It might be Hackapalooza. Then I'm thinking.
and that's where the Sonic Mania
Freedom
happened.
Planet.
I mean, that's what they do because like Generations on Steam, what people do is make mods and they literally mod in levels from older games and revamp them.
Let me
Like, people
see if I
take
can
it through.
find that video, because that was a
It's
really
like,
good.
people have been taking like Sonic 06 levels and remodded them and then put them in the Generations play style. People fucking love that. People will mod the shit out of that game. Which is part of the reason why I was debating on whether getting it on the Switch or not, because Generations is only 30 frames on the PS3. It wasn't 60.
Really?
Yeah.
Here it was Digital Foundry, and I'd be shocked if you hadn't seen it, Terrell, because it's a really good video.
I may not have. Did you link it or no?
It's in the live chat. I'll put it, and then if you want it in our group chat, I can do that.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, because the HD Sonic 2 HD remake looks really good.
Oh, there it
It's
is. Okay.
Sage is the event.
I'm still shocked that Forces is only $40.
Yeah, that's
That-
the one thing.
I'm slightly
Maybe when
concerned
you
about
play, you
that.
don't understand why.
Well, I know why I missed it. It literally came out yesterday. That's why.
And jump to the 10.5-minute mark, and that's that. It's 10. It's almost 11-minute mark. That's that 3D kind of demo thing that somebody had created. It's not really.
Oh, I see.
And it
Yeah, I
looks-
see what you're talking about.
To me, like that looks like that would work for a 3D Sonic and keep the speed and branching paths and all that. Skilled players can.
Yeah, I've seen this demo before. It looks cool. I feel like I'd be really curious to see how it's handled, because I think
Well,
the
man,
big. Go ahead.
If you take it beyond just this basic demo and take the concept and then add varied environments, and I don't know if Sega's got the talent to add great controls and level design to that, but maybe they do.
They have the potential to. That's what I'll say.
I don't know if they have the same people, but to me that excites me.
I was using DAC Forces, so it's
hey, chill out, man. That's some trash. That's some trash. Chill out.
But seeing the 3D and Sonic Forces, and you have the 3 lanes still, it's like it's almost like a on rails type of experience.
It's pretty much continuing the Generations gameplay style. Yeah. Generations is like that. Really well.
Go home. I almost downloaded. I got Sonic Force or Sonic Generations on Steam. It's not currently installed, and I thought about re-downloading it just to play around with it again, just to see. But
yeah, you actually play it at a good frame rate, because I mean the PS3 360 versions are fine because that's where I played them on. But I think the PC version is obviously the best version of the game.
So are you waiting for Forces? You wait for it to come out and hear what people are saying about the Switch version, or how
I think I'm gonna listen. What it's probably gonna boil down, I'm probably gonna get the PS4 version. That's probably.
Oh, betrayer of the Nintendo!
Listen, I am a Sonic fan. I am a Sonic
4K,
fan.
Let's be real. He wants to play
the PS4 Lost Pro. World was fun as hell, even and it was a locked 60 frames. You think I'm not gonna want to play a Sonic game in 60 frames? Fuck that.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
I really hope that they're gonna put that if it sells.
Also, I need another PlayStation 4 game. That's the other thing.
Yeah. Mine was on for 5 hours yesterday.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the Nintendo World Championship's like 4 hours and 4.5 hours.
Oh, you watching that?
And then I watched other videos.
You're fucking terrible, Juice.
Wow.
You're my idol.
Nope.
I strive to be like you.
I still haven't opened Watch Dogs 2. I was planning on playing, but didn't plan on this many games coming to the Switch. There's a lot of announced games.
You didn't prepare for it doing well, man?
I played for about 2 hours 4 months ago.
Why did you do that? What, were you watching a movie?
No, I played Watch Dogs 2 for about 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
But, it does. We brought this up a couple weeks ago. Like, do you want to have the best playing Sonic, or do you want to be able to take it with you for, like, my playtime away from home is gotten less and less with with the games that have been out. Mario Odyssey might change that, where I play it more at work on lunch and stuff. So if you have the option of a version that runs at a really nice frame rate, and you have a PS4 Pro, so you're going to get on your 4K monitor, you're going to get some pretty good visuals with 60, I can't blame you for.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What if I just get on my, on my PC, put it at the 4K 60, and be like that? You never know.
And then you'll have a portable version because it's a laptop, not just a PC.
Yeah, technically, but I don't really want to carry this thing like that. It'll die within 30 minutes. It'll die in 30 minutes.
Laptops.
You probably should have just got a desktop, but
yeah,
that would have been logical though.
I did. When I went to LA, I had GTA 5 playing that on a plane. It was pretty freaking cool. But it's because I had a plug.
You didn't offend anybody?
Maybe I did, but they didn't tell me anything.
I'm offended that you were playing GTA 5. Not your Switch. Dude has a Switch and he's playing GTA 5 on his laptop instead of a Switch.
How many times did you GTA 5?
I did bring my Switch, but I was like, how cool it would be if I put it on my laptop and started playing some games on it. And it was cool.
I was playing it today, but I've been playing the hell out of some Zelda lately, trying to get my shrines completed there.
Yeah, it's I got re-addicted with the master mode, but then I was just other games called my name, so I could get back into that too, and maybe I'll just pass on really anything until Mario.
I can't say anything. I after Metroid, I kind of went back into a 3DS cake and started playing Fire Emblem, and then I was like, I need to finish other games, and now I've been playing Dragon Quest 8 again, so I'm weird.
You should. Pfizer Red Gun 34 has a good point there. That game gonna be $20 in December anyway. You might as well wait.
On what, Sonic?
Yeah,
probably.
Maybe.
When's it coming out?
Comes out November 7th.
I would at least wait. I guarantee you Black Friday that game.
Unless you just can't You have to.
I mean, with your discount,
it's me, man. I can't wait. Fuck that.
It's only like a $35 game with his discount day one. So
yeah, like I'm not sweating it. That's already like 20. Yeah. That's like more than $20 less than what I'm used to paying. So
yeah, probably.
But if they patched the Switch version, yeah, I might think about that one later on.
You'll be double dipping.
Hey, look, I bought Generations twice. I've bought Sonic, was it Sonic 1 and 2 multiple times? I bought. Say what?
Did you only buy Mania once?
Yeah, I only bought that on the Switch, and they finally patched it. What was that? A week or two ago. So now the home button issue isn't a problem anymore. So.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask you about that patch.
Oh yeah, it fixed it. Fucking. So I'm happy with the game, and then they also fixed that. It's not really an issue, but it's a cool thing that they changed where, on Super Sonic, the way you activate it usually is double jumping. You hit jump twice and then you activate it. Some people get mad because maybe they wanted to do other things with their shields and stuff. So they changed it to where Super Sonic is now a dedicated button. So now you jump, you have to hit the dedicated button to turn into Super Sonic. So it's a cool patch. So I'm happy. I'm happy with it. I'm still playing Shantae. Dude, fuck me.
Yeah, and you got did you ever play the Risky Boots DLC?
Yeah, I mean I've now bought Shantae, I think 3 times.
Nice.
I bought it. I got the backer kit on Wii U, then I bought the physical version on Wii U, and then I bought the digital version on Switch, which means I had to buy I think the Risky Boots thing is actual DLC, so I had to buy that. So yeah. It's I have a fucking problem.
I might consider buying the final full version on Switch when they release it with all the content they added down the road.
Yeah, that's probably the smartest thing to do. Unfortunately, I'm stupid, so don't.
Because for me, I mean, the main game was just way too short. It's way too, like, I'm not even a speed runner, and it's like, get through it the first playthrough like 5 hours. I guarantee I'd get it down to 2 or less.
Which is funny because it's like Metroid where you get like different ending pictures of Shantae and Risky Boots in a bikini if you actually get it under 3 hours from what I heard.
Well, I'll just look up those pics instead of putting in that work.
Like you did for Metroid Samus Returns. Let me go see what Zero Suit Samus looks like.
Somebody posted that on Miiverse. I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah. All Metroids are going to do that because that's what you do.
All right, so let's talk about something Retro was really looking forward to. I actually couldn't watch it Saturday, and this doesn't have to be like this big topic or anything, but how did you feel about the Nintendo World Championship 2017? It's been since E3 2015, since the last one. How'd you feel about the Nintendo World Championship this year? But did it live up to your expectations?
For me, most definitely. Like when it was in 2015, that was like the most fun I ever had with any E3. Like I love like cheering for people, looking people fuck up, like how the audience was always like alive and everything. And this year was exactly the same, from beginning to end. Like, dude, like there should have been a flea market, but I was sick the next morning, so I decided I'd just stay home because I want to watch this shit anyway. I figured it would be like 2 hours. I think it was 5 fucking hours long. It was but from beginning to end, it was so much fun. I was laughing, I was cheering. Like when you hear the crowd go into where people fail and shit, like anyway, everybody's reacting. It was so good. The only slight moment when I got a little bit bored, and that was just this when they did Splatoon. I don't know why, but that was so drawn out. That was so boring. That part. Apart from that, it was so good.
All right. Anybody else catch it?
Yeah, I didn't care for the Splatoon section all that much either.
Really? They were close matches. They were close matches, but I did a little fast forward on the YouTube, and I could see right before, on the frame. I don't know if you fast forwarded YouTube on PlayStation 4, but it like just basically you can see like 10 seconds. They'll just put a screenshot. All these like screenshots in a row, and you can cycle through, so you could see when the match had ended. So I'd just go a few before that. I don't know why, it just that same thing. And then I didn't do that for all the downtime. There's a couple moments or times where it's like 5 minutes of them setting shit up, and for whatever reason I was thinking I was watching it live, and I didn't realize about 2 hours in I was like, oh shit, I can speed this up a little bit. So if I was watching it live, I think I would have got a little bored with there's some really long stretches where nothing was happening.
It's just because the Splatoon thing, for example, you have like 2 giant teams, and I prefer like the individual shit, like the home run contest. That was insane seeing people do that, or like the balloon fight when people get really close. When it's individual shit, the Splatoon thing is too long, and it's boring because you don't really have those super tight moments that almost all the other games had.
There was a couple like close moments where the tower was, and they played tower control. It's like, I guess that has the most tension because the one team did come back, and I was rooting for John Numbers the whole time just because he's the only one I knew from he won the last one, so I was kind of rooting for him.
Really?
And it sucked that he got put on a team, and like if they lost as a team, then he would have been in the losers bracket. You know, had nothing to do with what he was doing, but they actually came back and won. But anyone else get to watch it?
I was gonna say, for me, it was pretty similar in the sense that I had way better of a time of it than I thought I would, and the fact that it was kind of disconnected from E3 kind of took the edge off, so I didn't have to like worry. I mean, everyone was still worrying about a game announcement, but it wasn't as like stressful about it. I would honestly say the worst part was probably was ARMS, primarily because you can tell that like nobody knew how to fucking play that game.
Yeah, that was 2 people who knew how to play.
Yeah, like that to me, that was the worst game. Like I was pretty hyped during Splatoon. ARMS was which made me mad because someone recorded some of the crowd reactions. When they announced ARMS was like the next game, people were fucking excited in the crowd. And then you see the footage and you're like, man, you can tell.
One person was trying to grab the whole time. That's all they did.
And it's like the only person who knew how to play ARMS sucked at all the other games, so he didn't make it there.
Which is a damn shame.
There was a couple decent players, but I honestly think I could have beat every one of them at ARMS. You know, after watching their gameplay. How many people were left when they played ARMS?
What was that, 4?
I think 4. Yeah, 4.
Was it?
Yeah, because they only had 2 matches. They only had like 2-on-2 matches.
Because I thought when they got because then the losers bracket guy came up, and then they did the 3 when they played Mario Maker, and John Numbers just showed the reason he was champion, like that he got through that level. Like they were saying, he made jumps on one attempt where he had to do the duck jump, you know, run and slide and jump. Like he was making them on one try, and it's like that dude is ridiculous.
Which is funny considering how he ended up losing in a 3D Mario game.
Yeah, 3D Mario game tripped him up, and then the 2D part of Odyssey he failed at too.
He was salty as hell. You see his face right there?
Yeah, he's like, man.
And that Metroid, where you had
that
to run.
shit was mean. I feel like that was such a mean thing to throw in there. That fucking stage is annoying for anybody.
I don't know if I can't remember if I did it in under 6 minutes. Like I know
I didn't. I know that fucking much.
I got so many times at the end where I was hanging from and I just tried to tap over and drop down instead because that damn circle pad. But
it's like I did that thing in one go, but I did that like 2 days ago, and I saw everybody do it 100 times already, so I knew what to do.
It's fucking I hate that. That's why I said that's a really fucked up thing to throw, especially because you had kids under 12 playing that, and I'm like, none of them kids are gonna get that shit.
That one person didn't know how to jump in the morph ball and how to use grappling.
Why can't Metroid crawl?
To be fair, they did tell them in advance that game was going to be in there, so people knew that game was going to be in there.
I was going to touched up on it.
I would say the Donkey Kong section was surprised the shit out of me being as hype as it was.
That's not even the hardest in that game of the mine carts. There's another one where you're constantly jumping on.
That's what horrifies me.
On enemies. It made me want to play it though.
That game looks way too.
Yeah, it made me want to go back and play it. That's what it did.
I might play the Donkey Kong thing too. I got most aggravated from watching that because people didn't fucking duck.
They don't know how to duck. It's like seriously.
Because listen, to be fair, most people don't think that you have to duck.
No, but after several runs already, people still didn't duck. Like they go out, jumping around and shit.
Listen, it was a work in progress.
Did you notice some people chose to have the nunchuck, others chose just to have the Wii remote? Like, I don't know if you guys noticed that because
I wish they gave them the option in ARMS for that because you could tell one guy really fucking didn't know how to use the damn Joy-Cons for shit.
Mm-hmm.
hate that.
I love watching the Zelda part also, where some people were doing really good. I see people just like climbing out of Hyrule.
Why are you climbing? Like fucking get on the hill and slide. Why? And then the one person wouldn't use his parasol. He's just like climb. And then he's like trying to climb instead of just jumping. He thought he was gonna die or something. Like, didn't you know you could use a parasol? Like, seriously?
But see, that's why it's so much fun, because I think the last one was, I think, Ape, this little kid, you know, he was the last one, and he was climbing this wall, and even though it was pointless, everybody was still cheering for him and shit. That was
You
so
felt,
good.
because you felt bad. You're like, man, you know, like, he's about to get fucked over.
But I think the second round, I don't remember what the second game was, but that same kid, he was kicking ass. He was one of the first people in the second.
Wasn't that
home run?
Yeah, that was a home run.
Well,
That could be then.
That's when everyone found out about the Ganon and Roy strats.
I've been playing that way wrong. Like, I try to get it up as high as percentage, and then quickly do just a quick smash attack, like with 1 second left. These people were doing like 80% damage, and then holding the smash for 2 seconds and letting it up as late as possible. I guess is the close to it running out of time actually increases the distance it goes.
Well, and there are certain moves that actually do more damage than the bat does.
Mm-hmm.
So, like Roy's sword and the Warlock punch, both of those can do insane amount of damage. So, like, literally, like the first 4 people came out there, you had some weird ones like King Dedede and Bowser. And the other 2 were like, "Nah, fuck this," and they started spamming it. And you get like 6,000 or 7,000 points, and you're like, "Oh!" And then the next group comes out, and it's all Ganondorfs and Roys.
Like, I knew you could use Gandalf. I didn't even know you could use Roy for that.
I figure because people did that in Melee with Roy, so I'm not surprised on that.
I've had like the bag up over 200% damage and still only gone like 2,000 feet. So it's not the damage; it's the timing.
No, it's not just the damage. It's also, for example, the Warlock punch and the sword impact from Roy. They basically hit harder than the home run bat can do.
Yeah,
and it goes up more. I think
it has more knockback.
Yeah, that's it.
So it propels it forward. That's why people were getting like 7,000 and 8,000 points.
I got to turn that game back on because I couldn't beat one of the challenges where you got to hit it like 4,000 feet.
That shit tripped me out because I forgot about all that. I didn't think they were going to pick the home run contest. That's what kind of threw me off.
That's why it was so good, yeah.
I mean, literally, the one dude got it up to like 80%, and then he held Roy's. Is that a smash attack? No,
that's his B. That's his B. That's
just B. Held it
B
for the 2, 1, and then let up right at the point where we're talking milliseconds before not hitting it and hitting it. And it's like that's the key. So I'm gonna try that shit.
And you got like in the same run, you have this one person that has they hit the bag over like 8,000 and shit, and this one kid is like dancing around the bag, didn't even punch him once.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I always had trouble, especially with the Wii U, with the analog stick. I always felt like just trying to do a tilt, I always ended up running, and I'd run past the fucking sandbag, and it's just I always struggle with that. I don't have the finesse of controlling my character to like get in the right position and stuff. I always really struggle with that.
That's why you do the Ganon strat, which is literally you stand in one place and just throw out attacks because his hitbox is fucking huge, so you can just throw it out any time.
And then the one guy, even when it got behind him, had like a reverse, like a kick to bring it back in front of him. That worked. I was like, damn, these, like, if it's like all these guys, obviously not all of them were good at every game, but you could tell like a good portion of the people were pretty good at a lot of the games. And it's like home run contest, something I would have been screwed. Like, I don't ever play that. I did it for a little bit because of the challenge on Smash 4. And to see these people just like be pretty good at a lot of different games. Now, the person that was good at that, then I see them struggling at Mario Kart 8. And I'm like, oh my God, you guys really? Like, you suck that bad at 50cc Mario Kart?
But to be fair, that's kind of the appeal of that. If you're gonna call it the Nintendo Championships, you need to be good at least at a good general variety of games, and not just the main game, but the side modes too. So I thought it was a better representation of Nintendo games than like the 2015 one was.
And what did you think of the underground games? I thought those were pretty.
Those threw me off because I had never heard of the Bird and Bean and the Mario Brothers Deluxe. I like never heard of those games.
And that fucking Tetris on the Game Boy.
Yeah, that shit's insane, dude. It tripped me out. Because some people were struggling.
The original Game Boy Tetris.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was dope. I like seeing that.
So I like the fact there was a lot of good retro and
yeah.
What there was the Bird and Bean, there was Tetris,
Mario Brothers Deluxe,
Fight again. Feels like there was another like random.
I'm trying to think. I think one of them I kind of like ignored. Fuck me. There should have been like 5 in total.
Is this something you guys would want them to do every year, or you like it when there's a little more time in between?
I think every 2 years would be fine.
Yeah, I think every couple of years is where you want. You don't want.
I would watch it every year, but I don't think that's the best idea for this somehow. So often.
It was never every year when they first started it. So.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of random.
It's cool. You don't want to wait too long, probably, because I don't even remember what was the guy's name, Thomas or something that won.
Thomas G, man.
Yeah. So I mean, that name's a little less like John Numbers stood out. I immediately, I didn't have to be reminded who won last time. Like I still remember.
John Numbers, man.
I don't know. I just that name.
He sucked in the beginning. He got so lucky that he even went.
Yeah, he got lucky.
What was because he did all right in the shield surfing, but so many people like knew all the shortcuts and I watched a video like the shortest path is like 1:28, and they're hitting like 1:32.
The cool thing I did like is that with the commentating, a lot of people seem to recognize a lot of the people playing about how they've been in different aspects of the Nintendo community, whether they were like speedrunners, like Toblerone was like one of the kids. And a lot of people knew him because he was like one of the best like child Smash players. Like,
oh yeah, because he was dominating Smash.
Yeah, dude, and because I only remember it vaguely, but there was like a mini Smash tournament they did for the 12 and under, and they were streaming it on Twitch one day, and I was like, holy shit, this kid is like 12 and just decimating people who I don't even.
I like when some kid comes out of nowhere and like does well or wins.
Fucks people.
I don't want to see the same. Yeah, it just messes people. I want to see the same person win every year. That is boring, man.
That's why I was glad that Numbers lost, because I wanted to see somebody else kind of take it from him. Yeah.
And it came down to him and somebody else. It wasn't like he lost early on, which he almost did, but it came down to him, and he got his crown taken. That's the way it should be.
He got shook.
I do love seeing him dominate the Mario Maker again. That was kind of his thing.
He was
so good at that. Even though the level was a lot easier than what he did last time, that was so much fun to watch the Mario Maker stuff. I hope that every time they do this championship, that every time they bring a Mario Maker back, that's just made for this kind of shit.
Well, I think it's also because Mario Maker back then was like hadn't even come out yet.
Yeah, that
game's screaming for a Switch port. Yeah.
That opened up people's eyes to Mario Maker. At that point, it was just like, this could be a cool little thing, and it was like, holy shit, like this. All of a sudden, all these people wanted it, and I thought that was a big moment for Mario Maker. 2015 for a lot of people that were kind of like, I don't care about making games, but then they saw that. And they're like, wow, like this is legit. Hearing the crowd react when, the dude finally figured something out. He was making the jumps, and it was pretty awesome.
I think that was also a big part. Yeah, it didn't necessarily make everybody, for example, want to create levels. It made everybody like want to beat the levels and stuff. Like, because they said like the level would become available afterwards. I think a lot of people wanted to give it their own shot.
Yeah, and they're tough, man. I struggled on. There's one where it's like move and block, and you have to do a crouch jump, but then do the Super Mario or New Super Mario Brothers spin in the air. You had to do that and I was stuck. I couldn't figure it out. And then I had to watch the Nintendo World Championship to see how John Numbers did it, and I was like, oh shit. And then once I knew the trick, I could do it. But it was pretty cool playing those levels for the first time. You had to unlock them by playing, forget what mode that was. And it was just like that Nintendo World Championship elevated a lot of people's excitement for Mario Maker. I don't feel like Odyssey, that I think they were maybe trying to capture that, but what they showed didn't have that impact.
Did I hear that people didn't like that they showed new stuff?
I don't mind that, because I said also from the start like this, it was so obvious that Odyssey was going to come, and I said it from the start. This is the first time since like like the first time we saw Odyssey that I watched it again because I wanted to not miss any of this. I just feel what they showed, maybe not the game itself, but what they had to do. It didn't feel like finale material what they did somehow. They could have picked for a different game, but I knew they were going to go with Odyssey. Maybe just the segment wasn't very finale.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I think it doesn't take away from what that game's going to be when you're playing it. But as for a level for a finale,
briefly.
Yeah,
like that being the finale part, like I don't feel was as exciting.
Man, you got to end with Mario. Haven't you seen The Wizard?
That's another thing I thought. Are they trying to capture the wizard type feeling of Mario 3?
Yeah.
So, but overall, it was cool. If anybody's wondering, Robert's trying to buy Star Wars pre-order, buy his
Don't
ticket.
expose this man.
So he's been quiet. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm getting him right now.
Any luck? Is it a done
yeah,
deal?
I'm already getting a bunch of them. I'm seeing a bunch of guys.
Scalp the shit.
Not scalping. I'm going to see him, obviously.
Oh yeah, somebody said it reminded them.
What?
Did the Star Wars trailer come out?
I don't know.
Who cares?
I'm gonna go to a movie before I even see a trailer.
Who cares about Disney Wars?
Well, the trailer already came out. I mean, not the trailer, the first one. The first one.
That's what we call
Overhyped Disney Wars. Nobody cares.
That's what it's called, fanboy.
I'm sure Rob is
part of the problem.
I didn't pre-order Super Mario Odyssey till like a couple weeks ago.
No, I pre-ordered Odyssey in January.
What the fuck?
I'm not joking.
Why?
I don't know.
No,
I just did.
I
I only put $5 down though.
He won't end up playing it till January too.
I'm trying to get a free review copy.
Nintendo ambassador.
Hey, listen, you call me Nintendo ambassador, your ass.
Wow.
I haven't heard anything about people struggling to find SNES classics. Have you?
Not really.
No, I looked just for the hell of it the last few times I went to the store and didn't see any, but I don't think I was really going to be a purchaser if they had them. I was just looking to see, if they got them in stock, and it's just one of those things where I know it's cool and I know it'd be something I'd like. It's not anything I need right now, and so I'm like torn. Like, do I want it for later? If I see one, should I get it? So it's gonna be one of those spontaneous potential purchases. If I see one in the store, it's gonna be how I'm feeling at that moment. Just $80 for.
It's not easier. It's not as easy as impulse buy as the NES classic was because it's $20 more. So
yeah. $80 to. I know I'll have some fun with some of the games. It's just how much time I'll put into it. I don't know, but they do look cool. I mean, I gotta admit, like.
Pixel perfect, my man.
And then the system itself and the controllers being 1-to-1 scale, being pretty much perfect replicas. Like that to me has the best D-pad in my memory. I can't say I haven't played it in a while, but I always
better than
remember
the GameCubes.
Wow.
Get the fuck out of here.
Remember when I thought the
Get out of
Switch?
here, G.
Remember when I thought the Switch's start button was a D-pad?
Get out of here. We're done. We're done. Turn it off.
So I was like, that tiny ass thing. How could you think that was a D-pad?
Wow.
I think it's so tiny.
We're done. It's over.
I hated the GameCube's D-pad. It's so small. And
it was an afterthought. That's why. That's why it was so tiny. Because it was originally the start button.
yeah,
I was like, what the fuck is a D-pad?
You guys remember that? That was the prototype. You look at the prototype GameCube controller. That was a big red start button. Not a
Gee, we
D-pad.
don't know all these technical things, man.
I'm trying to tell you about
He's
that
over here
GameCube.
trying to make himself seem smarter.
They threw the D-pad in last minute, son.
Make me feel bad and shit.
that if we were listening, if this was the Dan Patrick show, that would be the fact of the day. Fact of the day.
Back to the day.
What the fuck?
Fact of the day.
It's
We'll do that
sports stuff.
every
You wouldn't
week.
know anything about that.
But they say the stat of the day on that
Yeah.
show. But
It's sports, you nerds.
Yeah,
he'll throw out some like random stat, almost pointless stat, and then they have a little song queued up. That's kind of funny. So
that's every stat.
We'll do that for pointless facts in the podcast. Somebody brought up in the chat Assassin's Creed Origin. It's getting Xbox exclusive ads for Xbox.
Yeah,
why don't we talk about Forza 7's microtransactions?
And Xbox One history, the first third-party game in Xbox One history to get like ads and stuff for Xbox.
No, it was Division.
I'm being funny. I know that's not the truth.
But here's the funny thing.
Stop this man.
Okay, listen to this. So we know Microsoft's got the Xbox One X coming out, 4K, super powerful. Assassin's Creed Origin getting Microsoft exclusive ads. Don't you think the footage? What do you think the footage would be from? Which?
Oh, you think it was from the X, but it's from the S, right?
No, it's from Windows PC, or I don't know if it's Windows PC. It just says 4K footage from PC, from a 4K PC or something. It's not even the Xbox One X. It's from PC.
Well, that's pretty close.
And I'm like, that's the dumbest thing. Like when they showed Horizon, they said footage from PS4 Pro, and people were like, "Damn, that looks good." Like that was, I remember I was like, "Man, should I get the Pro? Like that looks amazing."
It's called entrapment.
And it just seems to me like Assassin's Creed. Like it would have been Xbox One X. Like I don't know. It just
do they care about the X? It seems like Microsoft doesn't even give a damn.
I think they've already.
Supposedly, it's been sold out for a while now.
Well, they have like 50,000.
Right, if you only have a small amount, you're gonna sell them out. But I'm just saying, like, it seems like every opportunity they have to like promote the thing, they don't do it. I don't understand.
Well, apparently people have been pissed off recently because of the realization that now Forza 7 is gonna have microtransactions in it. So people are like,
that was in past games, wasn't it? If I remember correctly.
Apparently not. Apparently they're taking, I guess, the track modifications and turning them into like loot boxes that you can also buy. And people are like, why the fuck is this
you gotta,
because the game doesn't sell good enough. That's why.
Well, here's the thing. You can play the game to get these, and it takes a long time, or you can buy them. But what they unlock is modifications that were in all the other Forza games. Maybe except for 5, which
that's what people are saying. It's like it was in previous games normal. Why is this game so different?
They're taking shit out to make.
The reason why is because they need to make money, and this is a cheap, easy way to do it. We're gonna take away content that used to be in the game, and we're gonna make you pay for it.
And Forza games, don't get it twisted. They are the best simulation race. They've been the best for 10 years, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but they just don't sell enough. They don't sell well enough. They never sold GTA Gran Turismo numbers. Like Gran Turismo.
Why the fuck do they come out with them every year?
I have no idea. Because it's easy. Because it's easy to make a car game, and
so it's like NBA, pretty much.
Get a couple million. Yeah, pretty much. You can get a couple million
sales to the rosters.
Yeah,
it's fucking stupid.
It's a sports game at this point. But maybe that's why they don't sell that great, because they come out every 5 minutes.
Where the fuck's Muhammad?
Wait a little longer.
He was in here earlier. Where's he at? He absolutely thinks Forza 7's like super high.
You take that shit out of context, it sounds so awkward. Where the fuck is Muhammad at?
It's just like it's not. It's still Forza, man. It's gonna be prettier. You're gonna care about that for 5 minutes, and you're gonna be playing Forza again. It's not.
Well, it's also like it's one of the easiest types of games to make look prettier. It's a fucking racing game. It's not.
Forza car models is the easiest thing to make. And that's not people, because people move. Cars where they move, but the shape of them doesn't move.
No animation.
That's like the kind of shit where you can have those flat trees and shit. 2D trees.
Now, the Horizon series, I swear the Horizon series always has a different landscape, always a different setting. That looks intriguing, even though I never.
They're all really good racing games, but they don't sell to where they should sell. I feel like these should be like 4 or 5 million sellers, but they barely scrape 2, and it's just like, geez.
And I think it's partially because of the oversaturation.
That's part. Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah, that should be every 3-4 years. People
that's a good excited. One. That would imply Microsoft had other IPs to replace it with.
They gotta have an exclusive every year, man. They need that. They need to put that thing because they don't got nothing else. And it's their own damn fault. I don't understand.
What do you guys think Xbox One X? Like they said the pre-orders are sold out. What do you think if we ever find out, what do you think the actual initial shipment stock will be for
100K?
I was gonna say that.
For you,
Wow.
US and we're talking obviously they're probably not even gonna waste time in Japan, but
Yeah, don't even count Japan. Japan's irrelevant.
They are wasting
America.
time.
They're
bringing that in Japan?
Yeah, they're selling in Japan
Fucking
too. They haven't
stupid.
done it.
No, I mean the X.
Yeah, the X.
They're fucking stupid.
Really? I don't.
I like it.
I don't believe you.
disbelief.
Not that I don't believe you. I don't believe Microsoft would.
I don't understand it either. I don't get what they're doing.
This is so fucking sad, yo.
I mean, they're selling the freaking S as a Ultra Blu-ray player. Like,
Hey man, that's the only way you're gonna get it off the shelves.
why are
to be
you
fair.
putting out the X there? They don't want it.
Let's go to
The
VG
thing
chart.
about the thing being sold out also, like you don't get the details. Like I think like the day one edition thing is sold out and they probably made like 50K of those. Like I don't think
the
it's like the
Scorpio.
Switch where you had where they were
the Scorpio
sold,
version.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. I would think 50K worldwide.
I'm gonna be nice and say 150K.
I say 100. Yeah, 100, 150, somewhere around there.
Y'all be nice
So-
about it.
I posted this on Twitter. They haven't updated VG charts since then. August 12th, 2017. The weekly numbers. Xbox One globally was only 69,000. So it's run out of steam just in general. But in Japan, it was 81 units total. The PS3 outsold
that's actually
it.
pretty
The Wii
good
U
on this pair.
outsold it. I mean, yeah, it's higher than normal, but I mean, it's being outsold by the Wii U and PS3, and the Vita's like
Hey,
killing it. But then you got the Switch and PS. I don't know. PS4 still doing over 150,000 almost every week. Like,
Yeah, I don't fucking understand that.
I just don't get it. But
Well,
It
then
is
again, I
what it
mean,
is.
the original PS3 sold what, like 80 something, right?
Sony, they always
It is
sell.
selling. Yeah,
Sony systems always sell.
Sony always win, baby. Get
Yeah.
that Sony water.
Sony understands the market. They sell it. They're really particular about how they sell their product, and especially because they're in way more markets than an Xbox and Nintendo are. So
Yeah, but although I think isn't Nintendo supposed to be getting into like
Yeah, they're-
China and
They're
For
getting
Korea?
into China.
Asia, they're gearing up for Asia, and that's just gonna be
I was about to
ridiculous.
say, they tired of taking L's, man. Fuck this shit.
That's why they got that MOBA game.
Mhm,
Shit.
that's a popular.
It's a
game in
popular
China.
game. in China,
Oh, yeah,
so
apparently it is a popular mobile game. I didn't even know that.
yeah, that's what that's about. It's about to get stupid with the Switch. It's about to
The
get
Switch
really
could.
stupid.
I mean,
Yeah,
no one's factoring Asia when they're talking about the first year sales. We're just thinking
Nope.
the usual markets.
Yeah.
That could
Because
push it.
Nintendo normally doesn't sell in Asia.
Well, yeah, China just passed something
I
that
think they
allows
just
for it.
recently started selling in Brazil again because they weren't selling in Brazil.
Yeah, they're not in as many markets as Sony. Sony is everywhere. Sony sells in Kathmandu, like I said. They sell everywhere.
And the Switch, I mean, they could do 10 million just in Asia.
They could.
before March 2018.
While they beefed up production because they about to prepare themselves for the massive bomb that
Hopefully,
is.
they get Japan.
At least until China re-engineer or reverse engineers the Switch. Starts.
That's when we get the bootleg.
It starts making the ditch or the
But
Mitch.
China is always weird because China's like this huge market, but I seriously think that only like 2 years ago or something, they allowed the fact that you can sell video game consoles.
Yeah, it's
in the
very
country.
recent. Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
recent.
they've been pretty closed off from society.
And China
That's
is all
the
about
main-
their mobile gaming, and that's why
That's the main reason they often faked that kind of shit because they simply didn't have the right to get them in the country.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's why.
Be
It's not going to
interesting.
stop them from selling those things, though. They're going to continue to sell those knockoffs.
But hopefully
Yeah, I
it
wonder-
won't be as bad.
The
My
Mitch-
buddy bought a knockoff Apple Watch for he took the chance, spent like $30.
Oh no!
It took like 3-4 weeks. The thing's impressive as hell, dude. Like the screen's responsive, it looks good. Like
Really?
I couldn't believe it. Just
For
like
$30?
yeah, shipped.
That's all I'd spend on an Apple Watch. A real one.
But
Because it's a waste of fucking money. Sorry.
Hashtag useless.
I know a couple of kids I work
This is
with.
from the Apple head, dude. But,
Yeah.
I know, T, you're a traitor.
All right.
I do like that
See how much
commercial.
of a fuck he gives.
That kid on the skateboard, the new commercial. I mean, that's a cool commercial. I don't care what the product is. It's
I don't
really
like the
well
direction my beloved Apple is going right now. So
Ain't shit, man.
they're money hungry whores.
Oh, that's every company at this point.
Oh no, they're blatant though. I just don't care. Apple used to be really good at like pushing the envelope, and they don't seem to be doing that anymore.
Oh, you mean when they had their shit together?
Yeah, when Jobs was around.
Well, did you guys know Microsoft's officially getting out of the cell phone business with their
When the
Windows
fuck were they
Phone?
in it?
Yeah, I saw that. They're getting out
Like
of
they've
it.
officially bowed out with the operating system and all
They
that.
just
It's like,
give up on shit. I don't understand, man.
but they were dead. Like that thing was.
You ain't
done.
got to be number one. You know, you got to just have your core audience and sell to them.
Yeah, I work with a diehard. It's pretty sad sometimes, but he's so disappointed. I'm like, dude, the Windows Phone didn't have any of the apps. They didn't. There's all these.
Whose fault
all
is
these
that?
things. Who knows? I don't know.
It's Microsoft's fault.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's their company. It's Microsoft. Microsoft should be able to get everybody's apps and everything. They are the biggest software company in the world. Like that shouldn't be a problem for them to acquire. They didn't put the real work behind it.
Well, sometimes they ain't worth shit though. You know, that's the problem.
Well, these apps. It was the same thing with the Wii U though. A lot of these, like the install base for Windows Phone users, wasn't even worth them making the apps. But that actually led to less people buying the
why
phone.
It wasn't right? That's what I'm saying. It's a circle. You know, it's like a vicious circle. Like you have to start with having the product. If you have the product and then it doesn't sell, okay. But if you don't have the product there for people to buy, you can't complain about nobody buying it. It's just like doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I have a feeling the Xbox division's gonna pull out of that.
They need to pull out of a lot of things.
I'm gonna say this time next year will be the final holiday season for an Xbox ever. That's bold prediction.
Man, I'm not gonna believe you until T says it.
Hot take.
Hey, I've said that a long time ago. I didn't say when it was going to happen, but Microsoft is totally moving towards a service-based setup. Like that's
because they don't believe in making games for their system anymore.
Yeah, you can't even. You come out with this, which I mean, everything I've seen, it for $500, it's pretty damn. You get a lot of bang for your buck if you really like have 4K TV and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Why do all that if you're not going to bring the games to it? So
come on, man. What about Zoo Tycoon?
There's going to be a service box. That's why.
What about Zoo Tycoon, man? What's going on?
It's not just that they don't bring the games anymore. They fire anybody who can.
All right, they get rid of all the companies.
And I thought Phil Spencer was going to be the answer, but then they handcuffed him with this Windows 10 idea. I guarantee that wasn't his idea.
This was the worst idea of all times. Like,
yeah, that was such a terrible idea.
We're never going to merge PC gamers and console games. That just was not going to happen.
It would have been beneficial if they had exclusive games, but they don't. So.
And the Windows 10 servers is pathetic since it doesn't. It's separate from everything else. So like Robert went through. What'd you buy? Call of Duty.
I bought Call of Duty.
Talking about Recore.
No. You're talking about on Windows, the actual on PC. Yeah. The thing on that was you could only play with those Windows 10 people, which apparently was like less than 10 people or something. I don't even know what it was.
Fucking stupid.
Again, who do you blame for that? You don't give them people the product, they're not going to buy it. Therefore, you have 10 people in a lobby.
Come on, man. I blame Japan.
Windows 10 user base should have been joined with the Xbox user base, or the Steam user base, one or the other.
But the problem is, the PC guys are not paying for online multiplayer, while the Xbox guys are. So how do you merge them together without?
That's true. Well, they could have just made Xbox Live.
They should have made it free or made
or
some
paid
kind of
service both ways.
Right. Well, then you're gonna piss off the PC dudes. They ain't doing that.
That's the only reason the Xbox isn't dying yet, because for now, even without releasing games, you have all these suckers that are playing these online thingies. So why drop it? People play anyway.
Yeah, I love my Xbox Live.
You got guys like Mohammed and Zaire who just swear by the Xbox. Still, I mean, the ship's sinking. It's already hit the iceberg. This thing's going down.
Hit the iceberg in 2013, to be fair.
You don't release a big major upgrade to your console and not have a damn game to showcase it. I don't care. I don't care what kind of bull crap you come up with. You didn't have nothing. You have nothing. You have nothing. But some third parties maybe doing a patch here and there. That is insane to me. Insane.
But why didn't you tell Microsoft that in advance, man?
I did tell them.
They should have fucking known. But a good question. Vinny the Depths just asked.
I fucking love that.
Xbox leaves the console market. Someone else will enter. No one would leave it just to Sony and Nintendo. Now, do you think that's true?
Nope. I don't think anybody will enter because it's too expensive. Console market is expensive.
Yeah, we need like a hard reset.
You got to be Microsoft. You got to be Sony. Sony ain't got that much money anymore. And you got to be Nintendo to do this.
You don't think like Amazon or Google would?
Amazon ain't stepping into this.
Not really.
Nope.
What about Sega?
They're making too much money doing what they're doing. Why would they risk hardware business?
That's true.
Not, that's not
what if
smart.
they do a streaming type business?
Well, they can offer an Amazon box that lets you, stream games or something. That's different. But they're not going to come.
We have that Steam box though.
That's pointless.
Exactly.
It's like a super low-powered PC costing more than an Xbox One and PS4.
Totally I feel like it would have to be something like the Switch in the sense that it would have to be something very different than what we're used to.
It's got to be very different. You can't come in. Yeah, you ain't gonna come in here with just a box to challenge Sony and Nintendo with their market shares going up. Like it's not a smart move for a company.
To be fair though, I think it would help if the third competitor was similar to Nintendo in that design philosophy. Because I think one of the biggest problems we're currently running into is that because games have gotten more and more expensive, and primarily because Sony and Microsoft have pushed this idea that we need to push power hard, when realistically the game industry is not designed to handle spending that much money for one game and then hoping to God it makes the money back to justify making another one, not even including paying their fucking staff and the people who work on the music and the voice actors, which we've already heard a lot of background stuff about how certain voice actors don't get paid or they don't get the credits in certain games and shit. The game industry needs like a real reset, and if a third company were to come in to replace Microsoft, it needs to be like a very different one. It can't be a fucking clone.
I think the only way that could work, because this is why Microsoft is dying, the only way it would work is if you have somebody like Sega or Bandai Namco who decides to create their own thing and all of their games will be exclusive to their system. You need that. You need something.
Sega bitch ass ain't doing
they better.
I love Sega, but they ain't doing nothing. Like you gotta.
No, but I just think they own certain games. That's what I mean, and they have specific things that they could work with.
But they'd have to manufacture.
You're right. I completely agree with you. But the thing is, they own these games. They haven't done shit with these games up until now. So why all of a sudden when they get a box they would do something different?
It's like maybe that's why
they have to fund all the games
when it's being more expensive. Yeah, it's going to be more expensive than just having. Oh, why isn't there a Dreamcast service? This should be a virtual Dreamcast somewhere.
That would be something they should have done by now.
They should have done that years ago, but they haven't done it. Why? They don't have.
Yeah, I think Sega's just coasting at this point.
I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, they're
trying to save up money from all the Sonic games just selling.
So, yeah, I think it'd be interesting if it was just Sony and Nintendo, because the funny thing is what Microsoft came in and they actually were the ones to push. They pushed like having a hard drive and having an operating system that wasn't just put a game in and it starts and plays, and then the Xbox Live, they brought a lot to the table, and then they had a lot of exclusives with their first console, which they gave up on too soon, I think, to go to the 360.
Yeah, the Xbox was a great console.
And then, they were the ones pushing the power, pushing the tech, and then Sony jumped into that game. The first time they did it with the PS3, they failed, but now they're actually a better version of the Xbox. Like they've done what the Xbox was doing to more success, and they stole Microsoft's thunder, even though the 360 was generally everyone's main console for a long time. Sony came in and stole all that thunder, and what Microsoft was left with was just their diehard the diehard guys that were just not going to give up on it, even though everything was pointing towards PlayStation. And so you got 30 million sales, and it's not going to do a lot more than that. Even if this thing, Xbox One S, is $150 this holiday, it might do another $1 million or something over the holiday. But for the most part, the wins out of the sales with the Xbox One.
Xbox One generation may end around 40, maybe.
Yeah, it kind of depends on how Xbox One X does.
Right. Which I don't
see that really. I don't think
it's going to do that great. But
I will say in the Assassin's Creed ad, they do have an Xbox One X there. Like it doesn't show the original. It shows the S and the X.
Well, I'm about to say Microsoft's always been decent at marketing, and they never had a bad marketing campaign. It's just that they haven't marketed a lot because they lost a lot of their fucking share with a lot of these multiplats.
It's just the fact that they put it next to the S and not like on top. Like it just shows like they're the same thing.
The bundle is the S. The what is it?
But to me, that creates
bundle is what the Xbox One S.
Well, it also creates confusion to me.
Totally creates confusion.
And then the X and S sound so much alike.
Yeah, XS.
Tonally. Like it's just.
And then they show
all you had to do was mishear somebody and it's like, "Fuck! I spent $500."
Instead of saying footage from Xbox One X, releasing November, whatever, no footage from 4K PC. It's like what? Like that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Hey man, same thing.
I don't know.
Right?
What
no. It's the same thing, man. It's the same thing.
A little bit, kind of.
I said it before. They should have pushed back Gears of War 4 to this holiday, and to come out with the X. That's what they should have
done. Real quick, Terrell, check a retweet I just did on Twitter. Tell me what you think.
No, I will say at E3, the way like they had an Xbox One X experience, and the first thing they showed there was Gears of War 4, and it was like. Yeah, you probably should have just delayed it to have it here.
The patch is coming for it, but that would have been a way bigger selling point.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And the funny thing is the shortened version of Xbox One X spells Xbox. I think.
Oh, you a bitch, Juice.
You see that Palutena?
Yeah, man. Fuck me, man.
That's nice.
Sick of this shit, man.
But yeah, it's
just knows how to fuck with me, man. I don't. My emotions.
It's just crazy how Microsoft fell so fast, and how the supposed fans, is mostly the Call of Duty crowd. They just jump ship.
Yeah.
Because we're getting content first. Oh, it's advertising the PS4. I'm getting that now. Then all of a sudden it snowballed. Oh, I know this guy's got a Call of Duty on the PS4. Well, I might as well get the PS4 now.
There ain't no loyalty with Xbox.
What's that song? These hoes ain't loyal.
Yeah, there's no loyalty with Xbox.
You put it on, even if Nintendo did all that, it still wouldn't help though. They could pay for ads and exclusive. It wouldn't help. And then the other thing, completely. I mean, it's only related to the last Call of Duty. I just seen that Shadows of War PC version's 97 gigabyte download the game. So the Xbox One X is going to be the same with 4K textures and shit. 97 gigabytes.
97 gigs.
Basically a game that has Batman combat, and I mean it has probably a lot of cutscenes and voice acting and stuff, but 97 gigs.
I'm surprised that game did as well. I was so bored with that game. I didn't finish.
The first one?
Yeah, the original one, sorry.
Yeah. So, and since we're kind of trashing third parties and stuff, I downloaded the Battlefront 2 beta last night. I didn't know it was supposed to end last night.
No.
They extended it to Wednesday. And the one of them is a space battle, and the other is that Naboo attack on what is it?
Only PS4?
A PC is what I got it on.
Oh. And, it's on everything then. Okay.
So. Assault on the castle in Naboo, and I was on this team of the droid robots, from Phantom Menace, the comedy relief other than Jar Jar, and I'm playing Battlefield I'm a Star Wars fucking drone from Phantom Menace. Like it means nothing to me to have this awesome setting, but to be playing a Battlefield, a game I don't even like. I don't like the Battlefield mechanics. And then the space battle was pretty cool, except the controls were really different than I was used to, so I was struggling. But once I got into it, I was like, yeah, that was kind of fun. But
the game is gorgeous, Juice. It's gorgeous.
It looks amazing. But I'm like, I want to test out the single player.
That's all that matters, Juice.
The single player has a fucking trailer you can watch. And I'm thinking, you know what? If they sold the single player by itself for like $15-20, I would buy that. I'll tell you right now, because it looked pretty interesting, and you know, having that setting's cool. But just flying around randomly and just be killed by just all these other players, and there's really nothing, no focus going on.
I don't know if you played Battlefront before. The single player.
The first Battlefront I played. But this actually has a story. This is made by a totally different company, made the single player in Battlefront 2. It's an original story, takes place after episode, let's see, is it 6? Yeah, after Return of the Jedi, after the Death Star blows up. And it looks like a pretty cool story.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to buy a $60 game, and I don't like the Battlefield. Like, why does Star Wars have to play like Battlefield? Why couldn't it be its own thing? Like,
because EA?
Yeah. Because Disney's the whores, and they sold the license to EA, who are whores, and now, and now we're all whores.
The first game was missing.
Hey man,
so
I'm not a whore,
things.
T. I don't suck.
Battlefront 1 sold like 10 million or like ridiculous numbers, and it was missing so much stuff, and it's like, and people bought that game, and now this one, obviously, it looks way more fleshed out. I gotta give them credit. They didn't just make the same crap, you know. But why can't I just be my favorite Star Wars character, have either a lightsaber or a blast or something, and come up with some new mechanics and have a unique first-person online game? Like, I don't know.
Because that would take too much ingenuity and thinking, and
it's just it's a
go around, shoot stuff in the Star Wars universe. Go.
It's a damn shame. It is. What was the last good Star Wars game? A great Star Wars game. I know a lot of people love Knights of the Old Republic. I never played Force Unleashed. That was pretty good.
I really like
that. What about Kinect Star Wars?
Man, quit playing.
But, you know, it looks good, sounded good, but I'm sorry, Rob, Rule 2, if you're listening to this someday down the road. Sorry, man. It's like, just because I like Star Wars, I can't just buy this game.
Boycott, so.
And they're EA, but at least I got to try it. And it was, I will say it was better than the Battlefront 1 beta. Like, it was actually.
I'll buy it in a used bin, and I won't buy anything online. I'm not good. Yeah. You're not getting a dime from T.
Yeah, I'll buy it when it's $20 on PC, because Battlefront 1 dropped really quick and super low, but I'm just like, there's nothing for me to play other than the online. Well, at least this new one has. We'll see how long it is and if it's actually any good. It hasn't something that's interesting to me in the new single player actually having a single player. So if this Battlefront 2 ever drops like $20, and that could be a purchase for that reason. But, you know, looking at the GameCube Star Wars, which was really fun and really cool, that got a little repetitive to me. Like, that didn't last. Like, I got bored with that kind of quick, but it wasn't you know, for what it was, just basically a shooter. You know, I can't even remember if there was any land.
Which one?
The first one, Rogue Squadron 2.
Rogue Squadron 3 had land missions.
Did it? I never had.
Yeah.
Didn't get to play that one.
Oh, you should play it. You should pick it up. I think it's still pretty cute.
Because it had the original game and the new game all in one little disc. I remember that. And it
Rogue Squadron
better.
For 64 and the Rogue Squadron 2 were flight missions only. Then Rogue Squadron 3 introduced land missions, which, you know, was hit or miss.
Yeah. I don't know. I was, you know, I got no money invested. It just the time to download it and play it last night, and like I was telling, I think in our chat on Friday playing Splatoon, I was like, I just can't be excited. I don't care how much Star Wars aesthetic they throw on it. It's still just Battlefield, which just never got into. I'd rather have Activision make a Call of Duty with Star Wars aesthetic, because at least that's a fun multiplayer game. But anybody try the beta? I'm guessing not.
No. I mean, I do want the game though. I do want the game.
I was too busy port begging Project Cars. So.
Ooh, don't do it.
Robert, you're gonna get the
Yeah, because I liked the original. I just didn't. I felt like it needed a single player and stuff. I like Battlefield because I like the Battlefield franchise. Not really like Hardline and stuff, but I liked 4 and 1, and 3.
Like all out of order and shit.
I was gonna say,
like 4 and
that's how you know naming conventions are trash when he's like, I like 4 and 1, and that's actually like the order it came out, and you're like, man,
yeah.
this is stupid.
I don't know. I just never got into that. It's like, oh, you move a little bit, you're dead. Like, nope, respawning.
What, Juice? It's like a worse explanation, Juice.
That's really like Unreal Tournament. That's how I used to be when I played that.
It really caters. It caters to like the long distance shot, and you never see where it came from. They don't show your kill cam, so you have no idea. And it's just like, oh, I'm respawning. I'm running back. Now I got to get back to the area I need to be. And
okay. It's Halloween.
But another demo I downloaded, which was FIFA 18 on my PC. Why there's not a Switch demo when every other thing on planet Earth has a demo?
You shouldn't buy the Switch version.
And I had a blast over, especially compared to Battlefront. I had a lot of fun playing that. It's been a long time since I played soccer, but I was setting up. It's kind of like hockey. I use hockey strategy where I try to get a guy close to the net, have another guy running from the side, pass it to him, and I forget what they call that in hockey. But I actually had a lot of fun playing that. You know, that's another game. $20 someday, probably pick it up, type of thing. I was, like I said, last week? I was really thinking about getting the Switch version, and they decided not to have online with friends. And then when they're asked about it, they gave some no answer. Well, we got a local multiplayer, and that never said, "Hey, we realized that we couldn't do it," or just ignored the question basically. And if they would have just said, "We're working on it," that's all a lot of people probably would have needed to hear. But they're not. So
the good thing about
definitely
FIFA
not.
is
Fuck them.
next year I'm gonna find that on the flea market already for Switch. Like every flea market, every fucking time, everybody has every fucking FIFA for every system for every year. Next year I'm gonna find that for the Switch already for like $5.
And I've watched multiple reviews, and everyone's like, man, it plays really good. It's a really good version. Obviously, it's missing the what do they call that, story mode? But everyone's like, it's a solid version of FIFA. It looks good in portable mode. It plays great. It's fluid. The controls are good. Like everything pretty good, really good. And then they always throw you can't play against friends online, and it doesn't have whatever that mode's called, the single player. And it's just like, yeah, I can understand some people being upset about a single player, but it's it's not being able to play with friends. Just even if I wasn't going to play a whole lot, it totally just kills any game for me. Like that kind of game where, like NBA, like the only reason I was really looking forward to getting it is play against you guys. Like that was a selling point. And
we're actually going to get that game.
I think
getting it.
I think NBA. I think they're going to add it, but I know T is getting it. Robert's getting it. So I was just like, yeah, that'd be cool. But just. Hopefully they'll patch that in, because that could be something that could change my mind on that game down the road if I get an SD card and download it. So I don't know. It's just EA. I don't know. I'm almost.
EA ain't shit. They ain't shit.
They picked the one game that they felt. Well, obviously it's one of their best selling franchises. Mm-hmm. They felt they could sell it anywhere, and that was the only motivation for putting FIFA on Switch. And to me, that just feels filthy to me. They didn't really put in any thought beyond sales, and I can't go with that. I can't.
And then they've got the whole game on the cart, which I was kind of doubting once the NBA thing came out. So I was like, they did a lot of things right there. It's just
they're shooting themselves in the foot.
They said stupid things, and they don't have option to play with friends. Even though none of you guys might even got it, I might hardly ever got to play with friends. It's still the principle of it. It's like, fuck you.
I would have bought FIFA had EA said one more game. They mentioned one more game that wasn't this is just a numbers decision. You know,
well, they did.
I would have been like, all right.
They did announce that one. Is it Emmett? Who's making that indie? What the hell is that game?
That ain't EA though.
I know
about the Zoinks game.
Yeah, I mean, EA publishing it. No, it's the guys that made Flippin' Death.
Oh, Fee?
Yeah, Faye or Fee.
Faye, sorry. Faye.
Whatever.
I mean, it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah,
that was a nice little.
I mean, they're publishing it.
But that was a nice. I was happy about that. But yeah, what else? No, Battlefront 2 really wouldn't do much for me. I really feel like EA wouldn't put in the effort to make that even a good version anyway for the Switch. So it's like, what else do they got? Need for Speed?
Which we had. When was the last one we got of that one? Wasn't that the Most Wanted? No, Payback.
Most Wanted U was the last one we got on
the Speed, Most Uncontrollable U.
But when does Payback come out?
Sure.
Who cares?
But yeah, it's just one of those things, and it doesn't even look like it's selling that well because Europe, they're pretty France and stuff. There's some regions that are pretty big in Nintendo, but for the most part, it's a big Sony territory, and FIFA doesn't sell in the US. It's just a weird choice that would be their only, because they know Europe's not as big into Nintendo, and then Japan buys FIFA about as much as the US. So it's like, it just wasn't a good game to only have for a global decision. Yeah, when you look at it, North America is going to have probably the highest amount of Switches, and we don't play soccer games. We don't buy them. It's just like Madden doesn't sell in Europe.
Right.
So yeah, Plants vs. Zombies would have been a good choice.
I was going to say, there are choices they could have made that would have made a lot more sense. Unravel, Plants vs. Zombies.
Come on, man! You know that game can't run on Switch.
Yeah, even Need for Speed. I mean, I did like. I thought that was pretty.
Need for Speed. That's another one.
So
with no competition, that game has no competition on Switch right now.
No, it doesn't. It's not like we're getting Project Cars 2.
Well, if you ask for it, folks, you can.
I almost feel like
you can convince the developers. Says the publisher. You can help the developers, not us.
I feel like Bandai doesn't understand what the problem is, so they're just walking out like a deer in headlights. Like, hey guys, I don't understand what the problem is. I don't like racing games.
And T just made a video about that, guys. If you were wondering,
I feel like that one was out of spite.
No, I just was waiting for him to say it, and he wasn't. So I was like, got a prop.
I'm gonna have to bust his balls about it.
I'm just waiting for him to throw that out there. I just made a video.
Please don't.
But yeah, it was a good video, and it covered that topic. It's funny, like certain people are coming around to what we've been saying, especially Retro Death was trying to say in a debate a while back. Some people
funny, right?
finally they're coming around and seeing what we were seeing, even though there has been other games that got announced that, so both sides were kind of right and wrong back then about this, because some of the companies didn't say anything, and then they recently announced games. Other companies didn't say anything, and they're saying, well, if you want the game,
Bandai Namco have no business in this realm with what they've been doing with Nintendo. This should not.
They probably don't even know. I wonder if they don't even know what the whole Project Cars situation
that was the joke I was making earlier. I feel like they're walking out there with deer in headlights. Like, I don't understand what the problem is.
So what you're telling me is that Bandai Namco has no idea that the original Project Cars was basically funded by Nintendo fans. When they acquired this company, they had no idea. Nobody said to them, blah, 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 Nintendo fans.
I can tell you, as a company was bought out by another bigger company, the executives at the top had no clue what we did and what was going on. So I don't know. I'm not saying they didn't.
Yeah, there might be people in there who know of it, but not the main people.
I think Bandai Namco, they're more like, what do you need Project Cars 2 for? We give them Xenoverse 2 just now.
Which is funny because apparently that was selling pretty well.
I seen it in the stores. So
I did too.
I know someone that bought it.
Who bought it?
I don't know.
I like how you knew someone but not you.
No, it's not me. No, I didn't buy it.
I ain't got time for that shit.
Watching it does nothing for me. I couldn't say if I'd played it if I'd like it or not, but watching it,
I've played it before. I don't like the way it feels. Like it's so weird. You just flying.
It's too fucking floaty to me.
It feels like you're not controlling.
Man, now I want me. Hey, man, when you got Fighter Z, I don't give a fuck about no Xenoverse, man.
I know Retro thinks differently. He thinks that series needs to be 3D.
No. That's
Well, I think it's funny though.
That's like telling me Rage and Blast was a good game. It wasn't.
What I think is funny though is that like I said from the beginning early on the Switch that the Switch was exactly like the Wii U, and I got all this shit for that. And then people are like, no, you gotta wait. And now we're getting all these third-party games, and all these third-party games are like exactly like in the beginning of the Wii U, all these like gimped-ass games and shit. And now people are finally starting to see what I meant back then with like this FIFA and the NBA thing. They shouldn't be like that, especially when you have companies like Bethesda, whose games are like 500 times bigger. And you basically get, carbon copies, like just a little bit weaker, but everything is in there. Like, I think like we still have like a couple of months, maybe a year to go before we actually get decent third party, like overall, where you can say that every third party we're getting is like decent. Because at this point, I feel it is still very half-assed.
Yeah, I must say, I just want to throw this out there as a devil's advocate. I believe Bethesda was on way earlier than a lot of these other guys, because remember Todd Howard, he was talking about the Switch.
When was that?
Right,
E3.
And he was very impressed. So I think they had hands on with Nintendo way earlier than anybody else did. So I think, nuance.
Yeah, but even then, that's something like people like to say. But then they bring Skyrim, sure, but they're not just bringing Skyrim. They're bringing Skyrim and Doom and Wolfenstein. They're bringing all their shit.
You don't think that's like a deal that they did with Nintendo? Like there was the.
Well, Nintendo's publishing all those games.
Yeah, we'll publish Skyrim and bring some other games.
It's not just we're going to throw these games out there on your console. That is a deal. There's a deal that they made together.
Yeah.
Well,
so I think it's a little different. Now, next year, you have a case. Next year, with 2K18 or 2K19 and FIFA, we not get one next year. So if we have these problems next year, then we got some issues. Then we make some videos. Then we can talk about this stuff.
Yeah, hearing what Sonic Forces is how late they started that, maybe that's the case. I'm
kind of impressed by the fact they got it together. They got it mostly together in such a short amount of time. To me, that's, obviously you want it to be the best thing, but to me, I'm impressed that the Wii U, this would have never happened. Like that just would not happen. So
yeah, we would just miss the game.
We just missed the game, right? So there is some improvements. I don't want people to overlook the improvements of, focusing on, what we don't have. You got to think about what we do actually have with the circumstances that some of these companies have. So,
and it remains to be seen how Bethesda's games actually perform. Like,
right, this is Bethesda,
bugs wise and stuff. Yeah, that's the game. I don't know.
There's no trust there.
YouTube's been really low quality last couple of days. I was just watching.
I mean, for like the last year or so.
Just for me, I've noticed the last couple of days especially, it was just like I couldn't find. I was like, man, it's only at like 480, and I look and it says 1080p 60. I'm like, there's no way. But I finally saw some of that footage from IGN's playthrough of Skyrim, and again, YouTube being the way it is. But I was like, that doesn't look good. But I can't truly judge it because, like I said, YouTube's been playing. The playback quality has been terrible, and I was just like. Yeah,
that's because YouTube as a site has been terrible.
So
I'm not throwing any shade.
Skyrim is not the best because it is an old game. It is a Xbox 360 game, PS3. So it's still working with those assets. Obviously,
I don't even know that. Have they said what the resolution frame rate for Skyrim is? I mean, I'm pretty sure
we haven't heard barely anything about Skyrim.
So it'll be interesting to see because if it truly started as a 360 game,
it's going to be 30 frames. I'll tell you that.
They've added some stuff, but I mean,
probably.
there's no reason it shouldn't be 1080p at least.
It'll probably be 1080p, but it'll be 30 frames.
What if it's a dynamic resolution, guys? No?
People only care about these things because somebody said, hey, dynamic resolution. Hey, checkerboard. And that's the thing. I don't know what the hell none of that stuff
I mean, with all this checkerboard, I'm waiting for someone to bring out some chips and then start playing some real checkers.
Like, nobody knows what that. None of these dudes know what that stuff means. They just know it's
processing of the 2000s.
Hey man, I thought it meant that there was black and black and red dots all across the screen when I heard checkerboard rendering. Right?
Checkerboard. Is that not I don't want that. That doesn't sound good. I like checkers. I don't know what you're talking about.
Some fucking propaganda. That's what it is.
Anyway, we've been droning on long enough, so we've gone
over a drug.
We've gone over the 2 hour mark, so let's just wrap this thing up. Robert, did you get your Star Wars tickets?
Hells yeah, I did.
You taking your girl?
Nah.
Man, why you putting this man in business?
Not taking her?
That's a long. I mean, it ain't that long, but it's long enough.
It's just me. The one.
I thought you said you bought a bunch of tickets.
Yeah, like I mean, showings. Like I'm gonna see myself multiple times.
He's gonna start the corner selling everything.
Oh my God.
Because he's fucking stupid. That's why.
Dude, I'm ready.
Be you, Robert. Just be you.
Wow. Juice, I feel like Juice gave up. He was like, "It's okay, Robert. It's okay."
But anyway, let's get out of here. We'll save the final thoughts for next week. And yeah, it was interesting discussions. Good podcast. I noticed a few people were missing from the live chat this week, so I don't know. I've seen a couple of new people as well. So, but yeah, we'll be back next week. Discuss some more stuff. Does anything come out between now and then that we'll have any hands on?
Next week?
Yeah.
There's a few minor games, nothing major.
Yeah, that's all right.
Let me look at my list.
Yeah.
Put the list down, T. We don't need to see it.
I know Tuesday, a few things come out, don't they? Or next week?
Tuesday is
maybe.
Is NBA.
No.
Oh yeah, the physical.
What?
It'll be interesting to get T and
yeah, I mean, Robert didn't say you're gonna get that.
It was next Tuesday though.
Yeah, next
Tuesday.
You
won't have it
after we go on.
But anyway, we'll be back next week. Talk more gaming, more Nintendo, and trash some Xbox some more probably. So I look forward to that, and we'll see you next time.